1. We've got RIP Takeoff. We've got RIP Takeoff. Absolutely. All right, y'all. Shot down. You can cue the show. Today's show is the top peculiarities of our moon. Troll-free phone lines are open. Got some mind-blowing information for you cats. Cue it on your record. Please like, share, subscribe.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying
All the way through the show.
to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't, let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be clear and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child. For said the Master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self Love Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
Lessons, not lectures. Lessons, not lectures. Please like, share, subscribe.
And even in this instance, if I could be of service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
Tap that like button, tap it.
The truth is that the politics that we discuss are not partisan politics, and I'm a member of the Common Sense Party. The new poetry that evolved in our society concerned the fact that folks wanted to use both words that people could understand, as well as talk about ideas that people could understand. One such poem, at least an early poem of ours that went in that direction, said, a rat done bit my sister Nell with Whitey on the moon, and her face and arms began to swell, and Whitey's on the moon. I can't pay no doctor bills, but Whitey's on the moon. 10 years from now, I'll be paying still while Whitey's on the moon. You know the man just upped my rent last night? Because Whitey's on the moon. No hot water, no toilets, and no lights, but Whitey's on the moon. I wonder why he's upping me. Because Whitey's on the moon? I was already giving him $50 a week, and now Whitey's on the moon. Taxes taking my whole damn check. The junkies make me a nervous wreck. The price of food.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Self love vision. It's the Self Love Show. Welcome, 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 welcome to the Self Love Show podcast on This Ain't That Network, or as we say, TATN.
Don't hear the music.
You don't hear the music? Can you hear it now?
Yep.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Oh, you got that ducking thing on, so as soon as you talked, it ducked it back down.
It ain't changed nothing. That's crazy. But no, it ain't the ducking. Can you hear it at all? All right.
I could only hear the hi-hat.
Okay. All right, we'll worry about it. All right, welcome to the Self Love Show on This Ain't That Network, or TATN. This is your co-host, Nine Mill. All praise to the ancestors, the Most High, and my beloved Mama Sky. Today, we're unpacking the peculiarities of our moon. We're going to go ahead and explore the mysteries and wonders of Earth's, quote, natural, end quote, satellite. We're going to talk about it from its formation. Second here. We're going to break it down from its formation to its impact on Earth's tides. We'll be discussing everything you need to know about it. Is it a hollow, artificial satellite? We live, and as always, you cats can be anywhere in this magnanimous universe. But thankfully, we all chose to be here together. Here together. So you can't hear this at all? That's crazy. At all.
I just heard the hi-hat a little bit.
That's crazy. I ain't changed nothing. What now, brother Wordsmith? What you manifest?
Love, now, you know me. I'm manifesting love. What you manifested?
Ditto, good brother. Pure, magnificent, unfettered, unfiltered. Many have said harsh. Others have called it tough, but it's love just the same, good brother.
No doubt, no doubt. The Zoom has changed the settings on me before.
Yeah, I guess so. I maybe Ace just didn't mention it last show. I don't think we was having.
Yeah, you was just in it. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, but what's been going on in your neck of the shy? I'm looking into it now, though. What's been going on in your neck of the shy since we last canoed it?
I just a lot of good things, but you know the big thing is house top. Next week, baby. Next week. glamping extraordinaire. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. But I saw brother Bernard Creamer. I saw Cortez. They're in town. And I saw them out at the house at South Shore on 71st on Friday night. And there was a lot of Tez and his ships out there. We had a good old time.
Oh, at the Hyde Park Fest?
No, they went to the Hyde Park Fest yesterday and today.
Okay.
I didn't make it to that. It was the house music on Friday night at 71st at the Culture Center. Yeah, it was good seeing them brothers. And next month, my little people will be out here because Yuri will be in B Funk's camp.
Oh, the fundamentals.
Yeah,
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's
yes,
love.
I can't wait.
Hey, make sure they coaching that Euro step. You know, you can travel all around the court now. Can you imagine yourself? Can you imagine if all that was legal?
Or the shuffle step back 3. That's
Yes.
a travel. Yeah, that.
Oh my God, I would have had so many points.
Yes. Yes.
The shuffle, step back, step to the side, lift your pivot foot, and step over to the side when they're rushing at you. Oh my goodness.
Take those 2 big old steps and then the Euro step. Man, you know how much I'd have been killing.
Oh my God. Yeah, but big ups to Yuri though, man. That's huge. And B Funk, y'all check out the fundamentals out there and support house stock out there. You know what I'm saying? We glamping, we cold glamping.
It's going down. It's gonna be so much fun.
Man. You know what I'm saying? And we'll put the link in the chat so you can go ahead and sign up and
links in the chat.
Links in the chat. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So let me pin it. All right. So now the link. Oh yeah. All right. So now that link is pinned in the chat, so you can go ahead and slip out of here and support house stock and then slip back in. Let's get her done.
Yes, y'all.
All right. So what to expect on today's show? We always kick it off with the self-love quote of the day. Then we have our more growth and development platform video. That's more growth and development. And then, of course, we have tattoo tyranny. We'll unpack a video of our government interacting with its citizens, and we'll decide if we like it or if it's tyranny. Then, of course, we have a dome teaser out there. That's a riddle. The mind is an awful thing to let lay fallow. So we'll give you a riddle, and then at the end of the show, we'll give you the answer if you can't process that information yourself. So stick around to the end so we can get you the answer. And today's topic is the peculiarities of our moon. We got a lot of good stuff to unpack. We're going to be sharing some screens. We'll let you guys take a look at the information and decide for yourself. Call in. The phone lines are open. You can text 424-900-6945. That number's what?
Troll free.
Once again, 424-900-6945. That number's absolutely what?
Positively troll free. Trolls get holes around here.
That's right. I'll be your Huckleberry. We'll make you famous.
Let's go viral.
Yeah. And smash that like button. Let's share it. Tweet the link. And then we always close it out with my personal favorite part of the whole shebang, and that's where this brother to my right summarizes the entire show with a bit of metaphysical prose. It's right off the rip, right up the top of his dome. I highly suggest you stick around for that. It's a great summation. All right. But first, before we get into that, any announcements there, Self Love? Announcements.
You already know, y'all know. If you don't know, you better act like you know, because it's time to go. It's go time, y'all. It's go time. Go on,
That's
get them
right.
tickets and come on out. It's a few left.
Come on now.
Let's have a great old time.
Yeah, I mean, enjoy yourself. You know, unwind. We all, work hard for a living out there. You know what I'm saying? I've been working on the plantation, slaving all day. I say I've been working on the plantation, slaving all day. I say I've been Juneteenth out there. I've been working on the plantation.
Yeah, we talked about Juneteenth last week. I advise you to go check that.
Oh Lord, slaving all day. So as you're slaving out there, you know what I mean? You can, take some time off, get out there. You and your, significant other, or come dolo out there if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And enjoy yourself. Food, great music. I mean, we're talking live DJs. Hot Tub Tour is going to be in full effect. I mean, this guy's going to be out there in a hot tub out there, for God's sake.
Let's get it.
You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Food trucks, or you can, do your own thing out there. However you do it. We're talking about private land, off the beaten path, unwind. You know what I'm saying?
Completely.
Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. You ignorant. Sport House stock. That link is definitely pinned in the chat. So Self, I did pull the trigger on the big because we have 499 subs on the big skydiving trip. Pulled the trigger, got it financial. Just have to call them
Set it up. Okay.
Tomorrow. Yeah, to schedule the time. I'm looking to see if they have availability on the me and the wife's anniversary, which is on the 23rd. House stocking. Looking to jump out that day. Of course, the wife's fanning a whole lot of fear. You know what I mean? She did.
She agreed to it. So.
Yeah, well, I said, well, either you're gonna go or I'll take my niece. I'll see if my niece wants to go. My wife can watch. And she's like, you still paying for your life insurance? You know what I'm saying? Are you fucking serious? But it is what it is. All right. So by next week, I'll be able to give you guys a date, and then paying for the package itself is going to be an additional, where they'll film everything for me. You guys can watch me poop my pants as we're skydiving.
Shoot, that's next week anyway. So show next week could be the end of.
Oh yeah, we should have footage.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, no, that's a great point. All right. And then our next goal is 999 subs, or Self Love and I will go down to the Delta, get away from some of this noise and light pollution, get back to the root out there a little bit. We'll do the show from there live. So we're looking forward to that, huh, Self?
Oh, yeah. We might have to get some internet service providers because where the farm is, it's not good.
Get a hotspot or something.
Yeah, something. Because it's not good out there.
All right, and we want to give a happy Father's Day to you, brother, and all the fathers out there.
Yes, the great men doing the work.
Doing the work and making the what? Sacrifice.
Yes.
The ultimate sacrifice.
Getting it down out there.
All right, y'all. So like, share, subscribe. If there's any scientists out there, anyone's been to the moon, has any family members that's been to the moon, has spoken to anyone that's walked on the moon, or anyone, like that. We definitely want to, yeah, you can pull up, but we definitely want to hear from you in the chat. Maybe let us know where you're from out there. But enough of my yapping out there. Let me turn it over to this individual who's part of the macro, and so he can handle his business.
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming and spending your time, your energy, your currency with us. This is the Self Love Show, and today we are dealing with the top peculiarities of our moon. It's going to be very, very interesting. Very. But we always have a very important video, the Silverback Moral Growth and Development platform, which we are building the Self Love Nation off of. For that, we always have the Self Love Show quote of the day. It seems so much easier to explain the non-existence of the moon than its existence.
Mm-hmm. Is this from some wacky? Well, go ahead. I'll let you know.
It seems
all right.
So much easier.
This has got to be from some wacky pseudoscientist tin hat. Start it again. I'm sorry. I won't cut you off.
It seems so much easier to explain the non-existence of the moon than its existence. Dr. Robin Brett, NASA said it.
Are they scientists?
Oh, to me, they're never a straight answer, but that's something else.
I agree. There's going to be some things this show I'm going to discuss with you. We're going to have to, as a given, so we can even make this happen, because I hear you.
Yeah. So it's a great thing, and it's going to be a lot of explanation on there, so y'all can get right up here. But before that, Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. Number 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
We're closing the gap.
Get her closed.
Number 10 out there, fella.
Protect our women, children, and men by any and all means necessary.
Facts. This show is not sponsored by Ciroc. It's not sponsored by Ciroc. If you guys is
or by the Moore's beer.
Yeah, the More Growth and Development beer.
What the? There we go.
Yeah, there's a light flash on there.
That light is bad out there, ain't it?
Well, I mean, it's not sponsored, but we're speaking it into existence. So there you go, Self. As you mentioned last week, we covered Juneteenth out there, and happy Juneteenth to everybody, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna lean more towards
the meaning.
After a while, it still feels like a slap in the face, but I, got a lot better understanding and understanding last week while we were doing the show.
Yeah, it added a little more balance to my repertoire. I'd say that as much, but it didn't change my overall.
Yeah, it still feels like a slap in the face out there.
Yeah, and we actually broke down and we came up with a reasonable way to celebrate it. Kind of the way they honor their fallen on Memorial Day. It could be like a Memorial Day for the ancestors out there.
Yeah.
And I mentioned even particularly, potentially, those who are falsely or wrongly incarcerated or locked up for nonviolent crimes and slaves out there.
Yeah, y'all need to check it out.
Yeah,
plethora of information, just like every week on the Self Love Show.
Thanks, because prison is what? Prison slavery.
Yes. Period. Point blank. 13th Amendment states it clearly for the record.
It states it clearly. Now, so yeah, that was last week. So you guys like, share, subscribe. Self, did you see Tipsy 12? Tipsy 12 out there.
No, I don't believe I have. I'm not sure though, because you come up with some creative names.
Well, big up to KOKO5 News. Fair use.
All right.
Been drinking?
That is an Oklahoma City police captain asking for special treatment. Captain Matt French asking a sergeant to turn off his body camera during a traffic stop. French suspected of driving drunk.
Let's get out to KOCO's Andy Weber. He's joining us live tonight. And Andy, you have some new video just in that really kind of shows how everything went down.
Oklahoma City police providing body-worn camera as well as dash camera footage from that traffic stop early Monday morning. As you see in this video, that captain asking the officer on scene multiple times to turn off his body-worn camera.
Cut the camera off.
I'm not turning my camera off.
I hate that we're in this position. I hate it for Captain French. I hate it for our organization.
Oklahoma City Police Chief Wade Gorley reacting to the DUI arrest of one of his captains, Captain James Matt French. French oversees the
He
department's
didn't look too
homicide
sad. I'm
unit.
sorry.
Stay in your vehicle. Back in your car.
This body camera video released by the department Thursday shows a police sergeant pulling over French. The department says the sergeant witnessed French swerving in between lanes and speeding. The car French was driving is his city-issued vehicle. Eventually, as seen in the video, the sergeant asks French if he's been drinking. French said he had been.
How much you drink at your poker game?
Not much.
Not much? How much is not much?
I don't know.
During the stop, French asks the sergeant to turn off his body-worn camera at least 5 times.
Sir,
going.
can you turn that off,
I cannot, sir.
please?
I know you're aware of our body cam policy. You know I
The
cannot
camera
turn
off,
this
Goofy.
body
I
camera.
do, but I'd like to talk to you.
As to why Captain French was saying that, I mean, I can only make assumptions, but the officer did exactly as he should have by not turning the camera off.
After multiple sobriety tests, French was arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol.
We have to allow the criminal investigation to occur, and once it's over, then we conduct an administrative investigation for any administrative violations, policy violations, and those things.
Why can't you
For
do
now,
it
Captain
concurrent?
French is on paid leave, but if he is formally criminally charged, he could be placed on unpaid leave.
So if you're criminally charged, you get unpaid leave instead of jail. And if
Right.
Right. That's crazy.
Right.
So well, let me say this first. And then I'm gonna throw it to you. Imagine, go down this thought experiment with me. If the noops on the yard were given police powers and you got pulled over by, one of the younger brothers. Cut the camera off, Goofy. I'm not gonna cut, you know what I'm saying? I get it. I mean, 12 is a fraternity. I don't back them, until they get their stuff together. There's a lot of good cops out there. We don't talk about a lot. But I'm saying, Goofy, cut the camera off.
Yeah, Goofy didn't want to get any trouble out there because he knew that was going to come out.
I guess so.
The guy just said that right after we do any criminal investigation, we do
administrative.
Yeah, and he did exactly the right thing by not cutting it off. And who knows?
As a citizen, he did the right thing.
Yeah,
but I'm saying,
I think the chief was a dick to that guy or something.
There could have been some political motivation.
Yeah, there was something because he was like, "I'm not cutting it off." He didn't even sound
that's the thing. It seemed pretty.
Yeah,
yes,
he didn't.
routine.
He didn't seem like he was with it at all. And
at all
because of
and big ups to him. We don't like tyranny.
Yeah, right. So we wouldn't even know about this if he was one of the home
if
team.
If he'd flick that camera off.
Yeah, home team. Yeah.
Well, if there's any noob out there, you pull me over, cut the camera off.
Oh, that's a different situation out there.
That being said, because I'm just saying, putting yourself in the older guy's shoes, I know he had pissed like this goofy SOB.
It's really finna pull me out of my car
Man.
and make me do a sobriety test and all that.
Man. But he didn't have to tell him to cut the camera off. He could have just refused to do the
Sobriety test. Yeah, it was like, hey, do what you got to do, whatever it is. Which would have been smarter on his part.
Much smarter. And he could have let them bury the film, however they were going to bury the film later.
Whatever they're going to do.
Yeah. So I'd say this. I like the way law enforcement move. The only reason I'm considering it tyranny is the point of view from the higher up, who is trying to get special privileges.
Oh no, well, no. It's easy for me.
Tyranny?
No.
It was attempted tyranny.
It was attempted tyranny.
Yeah, it's a new term. Attempted tyranny.
It was attempted tyranny because he cut the camera off.
And attempted murder and attempted robbery, those are all punishable offenses. So attempted tyranny, which we've just come up with here on the Self Love Show, attempted tyranny should be punishable.
Can we just talk? Cut the camera off.
He wasn't using the right words. Like I said, I'm using mine that goofy, cut the camera off. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, it's different. Man, if you don't cut that camera off.
Man, boy. Yeah. He did something to that officer.
I mean, seriously, imagine if death row's pulling you over. You know what I mean? So
that's a different situation out there. Out there. It's still it is the fraternal order of police, but
yeah,
it's not the same. They don't, it's not the brotherhood that they say.
Okay. All right.
It's to cover my own butt.
I know it's not the same, but if it was, I hear you. No,
so I agree with you with the Noops example.
Yeah, if you don't cut that camera.
This is different.
You see the captain's face sitting there looking at them. He looking at him like, man, you really? Yeah, man.
Are you really finna do this? You gonna arrest me? And they sure did.
That might get back in your car. You
He's
know
still
what I mean?
getting paid though.
But he was driving a city vehicle.
Yeah.
He knew who he was. Get back in your car. I mean, all that. I mean, come on, man. But
I told you that's why it was personal. That was personal.
Must have wrote him up or something, huh?
He might have been sitting outside his poker game, waiting on him to.
Well, here's something we're gonna cover next week. It doesn't fall under pink crimes, but we did do a show, Self Love, recently on illegal aliens out here.
Yeah.
So we had some aliens in Vegas who allegedly came across some aliens in their backyard.
Oh,
seen that.
Yeah,
and we're gonna unpack that next week because there's a whole lot to unpack there. So I don't know
for sure. I got to get some coverage for there too because it was on the land.
Yeah. Well, if we gotta move it, we can reschedule or whatever. But I'm flexible. Yeah, I'm flexible. All right.
I hope not. Because I want to live from house stock.
Yeah, it'd be lovely. Oh, find somebody with a hotspot, bro. I know my ship here always talking about he got one, but he probably needs it. Anybody with a hotspot.
Yeah, we're getting one out there but I don't know all the way how that works because if it's no signal to anything, then I'm not sure where the hotspot gets the signal.
It's like LTE. It'll But I hear you.
I mean, I've had a hotspot that couldn't get a signal where I was
really
before. Yeah.
That's not good.
Not at all.
All right, but we're gonna big up. So we're not doing pink stink or pink crime right now. We're kind of leading into next week's show. The aliens in Vegas. Big ups to Inside Edition. Fair use out here.
Yes, sir.
Is there something out there? 2/3 of all Americans believe there are other life forms in the universe. And maybe that's why this has made social media go crazy. A light streak was seen in the sky, followed by people who called 911 saying they saw giant figures in their backyard. So what's going on?
It began
Watch
with a
this meteor.
mysterious
It's gonna
fireball
change
falling
direction.
from the sky, caught on a cop's body cam. It landed with a crash.
Yeah, right,
Within
meteor.
minutes, the calls came into 911.
Look at
Las
that.
Vegas cops were nervous as they approached.
I have butterflies, bro. These people say there's aliens in their backyard.
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
Cops took the call seriously. They started canvassing the neighborhood.
This might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky?
Science writer Mick West has another explanation for those giant aliens with big eyes.
A raccoon, which has very big black eyes, could be on top of the fence, and someone could
A
mistake that in
raccoon?
the darkness
He's a
as
spook.
an alien being with giant eyes,
Oh
or
my
something like
God.
a coyote jumping over the fence.
The reports are an echo of those campy 50s sci-fi movies about alien
Never mind
invaders.
the photos that
Las
they took.
Vegas police have officially closed
Never
the
mind
case
that,
as unfounded, but still, cops aren't eager to return to that house.
If those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself.
The Pentagon says UFO sightings have been on the rise lately. They are currently looking into 650 incidents, but have found no proof of any aliens yet.
Why don't they look into what happened to all the $2.3 trillion while they're looking into aliens?
Yeah, because that's
But
just
yeah,
fallacy out there.
A 10-foot raccoon? Really?
Well, he's trying to claim that it's on the fence, and if you got a 10-foot fence and the raccoon has big eyes, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life, actually. Dumb.
Yeah, and so they redacted when they went in the backyard. They redacted that footage and said because it was private property. When do they ever what? So when the cop came back there in the backyard, that footage is not seen, and they said because they were on private property. What?
Of people who were giving them permission to be there, so they're just full of it.
Yeah, and when you saw that meteor, they didn't show it in that video, but we'll have video for you guys next week.
It changed direction in that one.
Yeah,
it very slightly before they cut it.
Yes,
but it did change direction.
Yes. And to Self's point, there is footage out there where people have enhanced and zoomed in on the footage that they did release, and they see some curious things going on in the background.
It's a 10-foot grade, the tall grade. That's what it is.
And there was some hidden camera, which we'll discuss next week. The police put a camera up there, and then they took it down. You know, they said they put it up there. We'll get into it more next week. I'll do more research. But something doesn't smell right.
Well, the people that called and made all the calls, they made some TikToks. So yeah, we'll get into it next week. Yeah.
But they've been sticking by their story.
Oh no, they've got other angles and different cameras.
Yeah. Yes. They had sticks out there on them when they were in the backyard. Like, and for this to be a hoax, you and I would have to sit there and say the next time there's a media event or any type of sighting, you know what I'm saying? We're going to call 911 and say there was aliens in our backyard and have everybody attack us on the internet and call us
crazy. Listen, 10 hat wearers and all of this madness.
The whole family.
Like people really want to do that.
Yeah. But, so that's what we're going to be breaking down in the next show. But today's dome teaser, before we get on topic, which is the peculiarities of our moon, we are going to get there shortly. So please stick in there, stand by and stand down. What does Trump say? Stand by and stand back or something like that.
I don't know what Trump says. I don't.
That's all right. Stand by and stand back. Something. But big ups to Ty. He said, "Happy Father's Day, brothers. All of us would have been in the league." He was talking about with the step back and the step. Yeah.
Man.
And if I'd have grown like Jay Shavers my freshman year, 6 inches, I was saying that on the last show. Yeah. Somebody on the flying the line now would have lost their starting position.
Period.
And as a freshman.
Yeah. Yes. 6 inches.
That would have put me at 6'5".
And put me at 6'4".
With the shot I had and the defensive integrity.
Know. I used to do them anyway, but shit, at 6'4".
Oh yeah, I got mines out there against them too. It's their only advantage was that height. Yes, take that away. But anyway, I digress. Ty said he'll be back next Sunday. All right, bro. Ace 2X said driving a city car drunk and he's still getting paid.
Yeah. Because he was on paid leave.
Paid leave. Smoke G said, where's the Zoom link? Oh, you trying to pull up for the Self Love Show?
That's what it sounds like.
We're talking about the moon out there. Please clarify, Smoke G. But we got the house stock net in there. But clarify if you want to pull up. You got something to talk about with the moon? You know what I mean?
That's what we want to know.
Yeah. You can always call in or text. Yeah, we normally don't have people just pull up, but you want to pull up, pull up. Let me know. Clarify. We need some clarification first, don't we, Self Love?
Absolutely.
All right. Enough of the appetizers.
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
All right. So you guys know these are lessons, not lectures. We're shining the light on positive influence in our communities. And also we're taking you guys down rabbit holes that your public education system, if you didn't go to Drop Dead Gorgeous, William H. Ray School with the Ivy on the outside, over there on 57th Kimbark, you may not be privy to such information. So it's nothing against you. You're just ignorant. All right. That all being said, go ahead, production. If you can roll the very brief promo video we got set up. It's a minute. Should be a short, you guys. Stand by.
Is this it?
Self Love, next week on the Self Love Show. We're going to unpack the moon out there. What is it, Self? Is it hollow? Where did it come from? Has it always been there? We're going to unpack that.
There's a wide range of information and dichomic. We were like, what? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. It's going to be fact-filled and very interesting next week.
Yeah, they like to tell you, there's billions of planets and all of them have a moon just like ours.
Oh, no. I'm questioning everything.
The ancients have stories about when the moon appeared.
Yeah.
So they have stories of when there was no moon. Yeah. And to love yourself is to love others. You can kill that. All right, y'all. So y'all clearly see where we're on. And we ask you to open your mind's eye out there. At the end of the day, we're all one. There's one consciousness. There is no past, present, or future. We're just on a particular timeline. But that all being said, so let's go ahead and, what do you know about the conventional placement theories that may have been rammed down your throat when you're in theta, or what big science says about how our satellite came to be?
Well, they claim that Tiamat was Earth before it's Earth, and planet crashed into Tiamat.
What the hell is Tiamat?
Tiamat was a super Earth.
Okay.
And something crashed into it, another star or planet. I don't know what it was, they say. But it when the Earth formed back together, it was formed with the satellite.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've just never heard the term Tiamat. That'd be interesting.
I think I got that from Dr. York.
The alleged child predator.
Well, yeah, that's crap, but yeah. Alleged, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so one theory is called the capture theory. They say the moon was floating by and was caught in Earth's gravity. That's one big science theory. Yeah. So you got this big thing floating by planet Earth, and it gets sucked up in the Earth's gravity, and gravity is a whole another show in itself. But
yeah.
Why wouldn't we have more moons?
Or just
4.6 billion years.
Yeah, or arguably, allegedly. I mean, why isn't all these meteors and all this stuff
Yeah.
captured and it's and stays here and
Yeah.
a lot of hogwash and science.
Well, that's one. Big science also has one called the accretion theory. And that's they say the moon and the earth formed from dust clouds during the early solar system, probably Tiamat. But no, this is the Tiamat theory. It's saying it was the dust clouds. So you had these dust clouds out there. All right. And somehow the moon and the earth formed. They never really explained why. But if we're formed from the same dust cloud as our satellite, then why doesn't the moon have an iron core like the earth allegedly has an iron core?
Because neither does.
Well, why isn't the moon spinning on its axis like Mother Earth?
According to our good new Charlie New, it's on a slower axis. It just enough so we see it the same side all the way around.
Yeah, well,
sounds like hogwash to me too. So
yeah, my research is saying that the moon doesn't spin on an axis, which always bothered me even when I was in theta when they were saying that. I'm like, you're talking about a ball that's spinning on its axis? Like,
yeah, it's there's a lot to unpack about globes in our
oh yeah, we did that flat Earth. We did a flat Earth
in our areas. So there's,
but we're making some assumptions this show. We have to, or else it won't work. All right, so now I don't know if you've heard of the fission theory. They say early Earth, this is probably TMI, was spinning so fast. Listen to this one. You talk about 10 hat theory, and these are scientists. For some reason, Siri is ear hustling. All right.
that's all the time. That's a story in of itself too. I mean, a show, not a story, a show. Might have to get on Google and Siri.
Yeah, we do. Now listen to this though. The fission theory says that Tiamat was spinning so fast that rock from the Pacific Ocean, this is what some scientists believe, many scientists, rocks from the Pacific Ocean, not the Atlantic Ocean, but the Pacific Ocean, okay, were flung into space. What do you think about that from big science?
Well, I do remember in the 80s or 90s, they were saying that they found stuff from Earth's oceans on the moon. And they were trying to convince us about the Tiamat theory, that something crashed into the Earth and the Earth became smaller and regrouped, and then the satellite regrouped.
But you know how a centrifuge is. If something's spinning so fast,
It would stay on there.
right?
Yeah.
So you tell me we had this big, huge.
They got to be
mountain
talking about a crash.
No, the fission theory is that the Earth was spinning so fast.
Yeah, that.
And the rock was flung into space.
Them people got 10 hat on.
My question is that more believable, which we'll get into later, what the ancients say about God's bringing the earth, but we'll get into that later. I mean, right. Which one? So if I had to choose, I'd choose what the ancients said. But my question is, then why are moon rocks, the ones that were allegedly brought back from the moon, why are moon rocks dated to be much older than our seafloor?
Because their dating is nonsense.
Yeah, I've said that. The carbon dating.
Well, carbon dating is definitely nonsense.
So you believe the
but
fission?
The rocks. No, I don't believe in the fission theory. Right. But rocks can't be carbon dated. So they've got to figure out something that was supposed to a carbon-based life form to do the aging of it. It's they can't date rock. So yeah. doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, and I'm saying if using their science, taking their science as gospel, then that would disprove their own fission theory. I dropped the link, Diesel.
All of the theories denounce the fission theory. The fission theory is nonsensical.
Yeah, that's nonsense. So we'll move past it.
Yeah.
So we got the giant impact theory. I think this is what you were talking about.
Yes.
It said a large Mars-sized.
Mhm.
Put that in your mind. A large Mars-sized object smashed into Mother Earth and debris formed Earth-Moon system. But conditions and variables, in my opinion, so would have had to be perfect for this to occur. I mean, it's virtually mathematically impossible.
Well, the Milky Way makes it make some sense,
Yeah.
but no sense
What do you
for the
mean by
moon. That a planet large size hit this planet and made the Milky Way, but not the moon. The moon doesn't make any sense as a part of that.
Yeah, because if that's the theory, then all the other moons that are found throughout the known universe would have formed the same way. I guess that's pretty much what they're saying.
Yeah, it's yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's definitely what they're trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. We got Diesel in the building. He's got
What's the business, Diesel?
I didn't know this was a topic that he was so passionate about. I know you got a lot to say, and I'm sure we're gonna get there. But welcome aboard the Self Luv Show. And right now we're just breaking down, and we're gonna get to the peculiar qualities soon. But right now we're just breaking down the different scientific theories about how our moon got into place. But what up, brother? Happy Father's Day to you.
Yeah, same to y'all. Same to y'all. Let me put my mic thing down.
All right. So now another theory that big science has, gentlemen, is the vapor theory. Now, this is the most recent that big science has pulled out of their bum. They said the moon smashed into Mother Earth so hard that it formed a torus shape, which is like a three-dimensional, like a donut, a large donut ring of debris. And then somehow, science never explains all the details, our moon as we know it formed on the outer edge of this torus. Okay. But the geological composition just doesn't match the Earth. The older moon rocks are on the surface and the young ones are underneath. Now, you guys know on Earth, the older rocks are found underneath and the newer rocks are above. And the only way we can get the older rocks up is when we drill, mine, and dig. So that's the most current vapor theory of how the moon was formed. So that's the most scientific one. And the last one is, that was the last one. So we've done some cases against these theories. I know you've been watching too, Diesel. My main case, and I'll throw it to you guys. Earth is 4.6 billion years old, so they say.
Allegedly, yeah.
Moon rocks are dated to the dawn of the early solar system, meaning before Earth. Rare earth elements are found in abundance on the moon, but they're not found here on Earth. So what discrepancies, either one you guys can jump in, do you have with these theories that you may have thought about even as a young child, or even now as you've been doing more research going down this rabbit hole with the theories of how our moon got there?
Got something playing in the background, Diesel?
Nah, not me.
Yeah,
Make sure.
I hear something in the background. maybe it's a volume coming through your headsets or something.
Oh, coming back through or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have nothing on.
Okay.
All right, it's off now.
Yeah.
But one of y'all, go ahead.
You can go ahead. I'll go after you.
There are. I got lost my train of thought and I was hearing the background noise. So go ahead, please.
No, I'm just gonna say they can't. To me, like in regards to the moon and the universe, it's like certain stuff you can't explain, right? So they trying to guess. You know, that's what they do. Scientists, they make these guesses and try to use different theories that other scientists can come and test and see which one makes the most sense. But this stuff is they just can't. They can't. It's certain phenomena that you just can't prove, right?
Yes.
And when it comes to this universe starting and these planets and everything and moons, this is stuff that they can't. I mean, they can guess it and say, "Hey, here's how I'm guessing it," but overall, because of the distance to get to stuff, to freely be able to put your hands on it and test stuff, it's like, hey man, they can't explain it. I mean, they can't even explain the pyramids, to be honest with you.
No, they can't.
How they got there. So,
and it's all a theory, and theory means a guess, really, until
Right.
it's proven. It's just a theory, and there's plenty of theories out here, and a lot of them don't make any sense, especially coming from the youngest being on the planet that's trying to dictate to everybody what happened well before they even existed, in my opinion. And it just doesn't make any sense because they don't make any sense. They just make up stuff and say it so many times that everybody's indoctrinated with it.
Yeah, I didn't have, I never had any reason to think, oh, that's peculiar. Like, what are these people talking about in science class, grade school, high school? I just took it for what it was.
Yeah.
Just kind of took it for what it was. Now, I want to discuss the ancients real quick before we take a short break. So you guys, what do you feel about when I say to you, the further you go back in known history, and there's no mention of the moon. So if you read old books and old literature, the further you go back, there's no mention of the moon. I'm writing a short story book right now, and I've mentioned the moon.
Well, going to say the Anunnaki talked about it in Samaria, on the Sumerian tablets.
Yeah,
talked about when the moon came because they brought it. It's a spacecraft, and it's meant to track souls here.
Wow, never heard that one. We're gonna get there. Never heard. I like that. Never heard that one. Anunnaki. I think that's just a way to take away all the accomplishments from Black people. All of a sudden, you got all these aliens and demons that did everything we did. And,
well, there are some beings here that were created that are not the original beings that were here, and there's some things that happen. That's my humble opinion.
Well, had you heard that, Diesel, that even before what he's talking about, at some point there was no mention of the moon, and then to his point, the ancients started talking about the moon, and they said the moon was put in place there?
I never really heard that part, that it was like put there. But they used to, and this is the ancients, they used to map. Space was like a big thing. So
yeah, they had no light pollution, so they could see it.
They could see everything clear, and it was a big thing. And
they could see the lights.
And they knew a lot of, the ancients knew a lot of stuff prior to, well, I mean, I'm not sure when we would say actual like human civilization as we would speak of it, but the ancients were more into space and things in the in the solar system, in the universe, more so than what we would see as regular humans who didn't even believe half of the things in regards to stuff that involves space.
Sure
They
didn't.
were
They believed that the sun was revolving around the earth, and the earth was the center of the universe.
and that the earth was flat, and you would be killed if you like spoke up against it, stuff like that.
Yeah, heresy.
Yeah. So it's
I trust the ancients more than what they say
the
now.
currents.
The
currents.
Yeah, the ancients
about all of that.
A lot of if you really go back with the Anunnaki and Samaritan and Samaria and all of that stuff, it's super deep. It's way deeper than what you get led on to believe in regards to what's presented to us as far as history. So, and people, a lot of people, they just want to believe what they've been told.
Yeah, because it'll break it down. And he's talking about like the Dogon
cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, the Dogon
dissonance.
They had mapped out Sirius, and there's even another star that they said is there that science has just recently proven that man, they were right. See, modern day scientists, the currents, they have to see and touch everything. When the others were receiving messages from somewhere, Self says they're Anunnaki,
and they might have been able to see it too. I mean,
they
weren't staring at their phones all day.
Far more advanced.
They were documenting their experiences. They were documenting, and
they couldn't read it right.
Well, yeah, if you right. As far as how they communicated, they were documenting these things. Those tablets and stuff that a lot of different civilizations after that were biting out off of what they wrote, what they put down. So Pluto, they just said Pluto ain't within recent years it's no longer considered a planet.
Right,
it's no longer considered a planet.
Yeah,
so I know Mills made him mad because that was the 9th planet.
Correct. Piss me off.
But act like it ain't. But yeah, well, those lights are out there. They are, the areas that call these things are on this plane, but I'm not sure they're in the sky or some space.
Now I'm not sure if either one of you guys have followed a guy. And this dude, what I love about him is he speaks on a lot of these type of subjects, and he gives you about as much verifiable proof that you could have on these type of subjects.
Brother Sanchez?
No, Billy Carson.
Oh yeah,
Billy Carson.
Billy Carson.
Very up on Carson for years.
Oh yeah,
Brother Sanchez be putting out.
He'll be on a 1 hour video, and I'll have to watch it for 4 hours. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. Carson's a bad.
So
bad
much
dude.
information.
Bad
So much
dude.
information.
And with the the information that he gives out and stuff, it'll lead you to other people that they're all in that kind of same circle of stuff, trying to verify and get everything. But very knowledgeable dude. And the biggest thing is when you look for that type of stuff is you want people who are sincere, who you don't think are trying to scam the public,
sell a book.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he's like a sincere kind of dude.
Oh yeah. Big ups.
There's no mal.
Big ups.
He's got the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. He's got his interpretation and he's got a book. It's a bestseller. It's been a bestseller for years.
How y'all watch this thing on the moon?
Well, not yet. No.
You don't really. It talks somewhat, but he's talking about the tablets that they found. They called them the Emerald Tablets.
Emerald Tablets, yeah.
And then,
he's talking about like what y'all talking about, trying to verify.
No, I'm talking about he's did a translation of the.
I know that part, but I'm saying in terms of the moon itself, like he's going over pictures that were fake that they put out, saying like, hey, we were on the moon, but these were like fake pictures. But he's also talking about and showing stuff that he says this is actually real stuff. that you could go verify yourself, and this is where it's at, and
He,
things of that nature.
he's also got a thing of anomalies on different planets that he's been putting out for years, for decades, actually.
And
like the pyramid on Mars and things of that such.
We're gonna and we got some stuff to share too, and we definitely can get there, but I'm still on the ancients. So you guys know the Proselenes, Proslenes of Arcadia. This is a the Greco-Roman scholars were teaching that the Proselenes were saying that they've been on Earth since before the moon arrived, to Tori's point. There was a Twiniac culture in Bolivia that said the moon appeared 11,500 to 13,000 years ago. And I think they may have been down there in Bolivia eating those coca leaves, but I could be off base because that seems a little short. The Zulus, Zulu nation, the Zulus out of Africa said the moon is hollow, self-mentioned this, and they said it's housing reptilians. This is what the Zulus believed. They said it was put in place by two brother gods, and the Sumerians also believe the exact same thing. Now, this is the ancients. They said the moon is hollow, housing reptilians. It was put in place by two brother gods. They said prior to the moon, the Earth's climate was very different. There were no seasons. The Earth was covered in a thick fog or vapor. They said once those brother gods brought the moon into our soul, into our gravity
orbit.
They said the vapor turned into rain, and that's what created the floods. And we hear about all these flood myths all over the world, different cultures. They said the moon changed the tides and stabilized the climate. Now, they already knew before science, to your point, Diesel, that the moon was affecting the tides. So it was either through observation, or they said before this was placed here by these gods or what have you,
No tides.
Correct. It was one or the other. Either way, they knew these things before modern day or current day science. They also, they said before the moon, the Earth could not wobble on its axis, meaning they weren't having any seasons. Now, to both you guys' points, how could the Zulu know all of this? You know what I'm saying? How could they even know that there was a wobble on the axis? This is mind-blowing stuff if you really sit there and think about it and ignore the white Karens that were teaching you in your grade schools, in your high schools, in your universities.
So for me, I go back to if you look at whenever the Anunnaki, and I believe they were before Sumeria and the Samaritans, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. I believe so.
Yeah, they would have been.
But the things that they passed down, each civilization or they would take over a rule, they would take things that they were taught from that previous civilization, and then they would adopt them. But a lot of times, they're adopting them to suit themselves as far as who's in control. In other words, to control the people that they may have. And I believe those sheep. Yeah, and those floods that came, what's the guy? I always call him Thor, even though it's like Thoth or Thor, or what's his name?
Thoth.
Thoth, however you pronounce it. I always just call him Thor, but
Thor is based off him.
Yeah, so
and let me tell you something. Thoth was dirty and black, but
Greek,
that
Greek
Thor
mythology,
was
and he probably is based off of
No,
him.
Thor was melanated too.
Yeah, so
changed him the way.
Talking about the one I saw on TV.
But those floods that he speaks of, he says the floods that came, and then he spread his, he basically said, hey, we're gonna redo what the floods took. So this is prior to all of the Roman, Greeks, all of those civilizations that came on to rule.
Yeah, the
So
Greco-Romans.
yeah, it's like all of that stuff is prior to that. So their technology back then, whatever they were having, it superseded like stuff for thousands of years. It's probably stuff that we can't even duplicate now.
Well, I'm
to
gonna
be
throw it
honest
to Tori,
with you.
but I'm gonna throw it to you,
com-
Tori. Was
man.
it technology or was it us being able to go in and tap into the oneness? But which is I guess is a technology. But
That's
I'm
a
gonna throw it to you,
technology in
Self.
itself.
It's both. We use crystals, the same crystals that we use to make these TVs and
You
all
talking
these
about crystal
computers.
meth?
Well, that is a crystal, but not the crystal I'm talking about. Is the crystals that they use to make the computers and all of that stuff. We had technology that, you know, we could touch and connect with and see what we needed to see. And the same storage modules that we use now are using the same technology they were. It's just different. Not the same technology, but the same components to save information on. So there was extreme technology that's way more advanced than anything we have right now.
Outer planetary, outer Earth type of experiences.
Yes.
That put on
extraterrestrial, but
type stuff.
Not
Yes.
necessarily out of space, but
Bro, they could look into
extraterrestrial.
water and make predictions, which they said Notre Dame is like they, you know. I
Well,
think
there's a lot of tools that
yeah
they've made irrelevant by ridiculing them and saying it was stupid.
making it taboo.
Yeah, making it seem like it's dumb or stupid
or evil.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. Religion has done a lot to hold back the mental capacity of people on this planet.
Yeah, I think we did a show on voodoo where we discussed it.
Just made to control, pretty much. It's the easiest way to control the people that you
politics
or your
and
civilization or world. It's the easiest way to control.
Politics or religion. Both politics and religion.
Well, politics a little bit later, but religion was like the first thing that they said, hey.
I think politics was. I have to
it depends on how you would define in politics back in ancient times. You know what I mean?
Back in ancient times, there was like dictators and they was telling them what the fuck it was, and kings and all of that shit was.
But that came like after. You see what I'm saying? Like even though it's ancient, it doesn't
that's
mean
a good
like,
question. What came first, the politics or the religion? Ace said, if man went to the moon, and this is a question, well, this is something I was going to bring up at the end, but
what I always said.
I mean, if man went to the moon in the 60s, why haven't they gone back? Well, and if we got some information we're going to break down. Either we have to assume, listen, Self, for this show to happen, for this to all to make sense, you've got to assume maybe we didn't go to the moon, but at least we got satellites or something in orbit where we can get pictures. All right. If not, the show won't make sense. Okay.
Well, it's all the satellites. From my information, the satellites, they're not out of Earth's orbit, so they're not
Correct.
they're not to the firmament, but they can.
And a lot of these pictures we're
these
going to
lights.
show have been observed from Earth. You know, people using
Yes.
binoculars or telescopes
Yeah.
and what have you. But that's a very good question. You know, a lot of the astronauts have said that they saw something. This could be a lot of. That's a good question, Ace. I mean, you know, did they see, aliens who told them, man, if we see y'all again?
No, they told them not to come back.
Correct.
That's the story from some.
You know what I mean? These are,
astronauts.
you go down the wrong block and they're like, man, we see you on this block. They give you the pass. We see you on this block again. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, they could even went so far as erase our technology.
It's just like, look, it's just like the boy who, the thing you guys were talking about earlier. I didn't get a chance to chime in, but I know y'all gonna do it next week about the
go ahead.
thing in Arizona.
And I wish you was on Mouthpiece, bro. We did the top 7 Chicago.
I was busy, man. I couldn't make it in time. I couldn't make it in
D
time.
Rose on there. Your boy from Simeon was number 1. Benji Wilson.
Yeah, I
and
couldn't make it
Wagons
in
Living.
time. I wish I could.
Ephraim Winters. Yeah, but go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You were just saying, my bad.
But if you listen to the, I know y'all gonna cover it more next week with the thing in Arizona. If you listen, the boy, the first one who went out there to that yard, he did like a Zoom, it was probably a FaceTime,
Yeah.
where he said right after this stuff happened what he had seen, and he wasn't the only one. So it was like 3 people. He ran in the house, got his brother and his father. His father came out there, and if you see the little video of when his father went to the yard and looked, and whatever he seen, he ran up out of there so quick, it was like boom, boom. And the boy said when he was doing the Zoom, he said when he looked at them things that were walking, he said it was like he got paralyzed. He couldn't move. He said it was like some type of paralysis over him. He couldn't move. So you know how you always hear like, well, how come you didn't take a video of the aliens that you've seen? That's what a lot of people try to say as far as why you can't verify it. He said when they looked at him, he couldn't move. He couldn't move until they let
got
him.
video, which we're going to show next week. You could see the aliens behind the fence. They are zooming in, bro. You see 2 of them in that tractor back there. So supposedly there was more video. We don't know if the
government,
the Men in Black showed up.
The government is
Right.
gonna, over all these years of
Right.
people, there's been video. The government is gonna confiscate that stuff.
So if
You're
people
not
are
gonna be
saying
able to
that
show it.
this Vegas story is just an overplay for the underlay, when dude came out and said, to your point, the government's got all these craft and dead aliens that they've recovered and have not told the public about.
Well, I mean, it ain't too long ago the government admitted that they exist, whereas for years they would not acknowledge that they even exist.
Project
So-
Blue Book.
So yeah, so we know this, and I mean, what is it gonna take? Something like on Independence Day, where a big old flying saucer just come up down by a city?
Guess what? That's
then
what
they'll say it on public
chemtrails is all about, creating these clouds, because you would see some ships out there.
It's funny you said that, and we got to go to halftime right quick so everybody can stretch their legs. But funny you said that, bro. I saw something. I was walking back from the liquor store.
Right.
And it was sitting there, and it's a lot of planes around here, as you can probably hear right now. It was nighttime. Right, sitting there. And stuff, I would notice a big bright star. I would see this every day.
Yeah.
So I took the time when I came home, I said, look, I'm gonna monitor this thing. And it was just sitting there so bright. And there was these floodlights, which I have a theory because I've seen it in other interviews. I think when we're flashing lights up, it attracts them some kind of way. People have done it with lasers. But long story short, there was floodlights. I don't know if it was the government looking for it or if there was just a show in LA, but there was floodlights going up and this thing was just sitting there self. And I watched it. I filmed it. I took a picture of it. It wouldn't move. It was so bright. It was bigger than any star. I'm watching other airplanes go by. Long story short, left, came back. I didn't see it move, but it was off to another little area and the floodlights were still like it was trying to hit it. And then I left, came back, and it was gone. So to your point about clouds, I came out, I said, Nick, tomorrow I'm gonna look and see if this is there. If this is there, it's probably just Venus or a bright star. Clouds all over the place. I said, I'm gonna check the next day. You yourself to your point. And I had that thought. I said, man, I think it's these clouds that's shielding them. I don't know if the aliens are creating it. Clouds self every damn day here in LA.
The whole burning in Canada, they're using as an excuse
to shield what we could be seeing.
Yes, if you are seeing New York and these other places, it's very, very orange. It's very, very orange.
LA don't even get that much precipitation like that to have all them clouds. They always had smog, but they ain't never had no clouds like
and
that.
If we had clouds, it was during the day, it'll burn off by noon. It'll be a clouds, coming off the ocean.
Yeah, this is
and it'll be gone by 11 a.m.
I'm just telling you, it's all to slow down the process of them letting us know that this is there.
Ace said when he was in Mexico, the moon. He said the moon was all over the place. He said the moon was all over the place.
Yeah, the moon. It wasn't the moon. It was what he thought was the moon. It's
correct. They know how to camouflage. Correct. That's what I'm saying. I think they're camouflaging to look like stars and to look like.
Are you saying that Ace was seeing basically the original Star Wars when he's looking at two suns and
yeah.
Oh, Ace was down there. Ace was down there drinking
I was
water.
driving on Lakeshore Drive and I looked at the moon.
You mean you were on LSD while you were driving?
I could not believe, Diesel. I could not believe it was behind the moon. I'd never seen this. It was like a glow behind the moon. It was like a halo around the moon. And I've never seen that in my life. I pulled over.
Did you take pictures and get video?
I took pictures and they don't do justice to what I saw.
They sure don't. I agree.
because certain times when if the sun is hitting the moon right, you can hurt your
the
eyes.
sun don't hit the
looking at-
moon. That's
I
all
mean-
hogwash. That's hogwash. The moon has its own light. The sunlight you feel some
So
heat
you're
from
saying
it.
the moon's generating its own light.
Yes, the moon has a cold.
It's got different gases that make up the.
It's got a cold feel to it. The sun, it ain't coming from the sun. The sun's got a different.
Hey, they asked one of the African people, click talking people.
Damn,
they don't like the moon. They say because it was a full moon, they can't hunt. You know, the animals can see them. So it's interesting. But
it gives off.
I'm trying to think of a
that
dude
light
name
that
from
comes
South
off of
Africa.
it.
Yeah, the light. Yeah.
The light
Yeah.
that comes off of it.
Yeah, it'd be bright. Yeah, yeah. But so hold that thought. Y'all, we're gonna take a short, we're gonna really dig into this in the second half. I just wanted to give a little background. So stretch your legs, Diesel, for like 6 minutes. You know what I mean? Take a respite and self-love, handle your business.
Yo, y'all know what time it is. I can't really hear the music, but
You can't hear the music, huh? Let me see.
yeah.
Hold on.
Only when you talking.
Can you hear it? So you only hear it when
There
I'm
you go.
talking?
There you go.
Can you hear it now? even
Yes,
though I'm not
yes,
talking?
sir. Yes, sir. You got it close enough to the mic. I guess that's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today we are breaking down the peculiarities of the moon, and I still got a lot of information to bring, and I know Nine always has a plethora of information, and we got Diesel here.
in the building.
We got Diesel here, so it's gonna be expansive.
I think
we
he
got some-
still got them.
We got some great
Well, before you get into that, who's sponsoring the show?
Midwest Festivals presents House Stock. And man, it's next week. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. If you love house music, it's gonna be a vainglorious time. Probably the best experience you've ever had. I've been out to the land and it is so peaceful and so different from here. It's a straight up getaway. And it ain't that far away. Pembroke Township. Get your ticket.
Drive a Kia and the Pookies won't step.
Get on out there. And we have a few videos that we need you to check out that are amazing, entertaining, and informative. And we will be right back at you.
And to love yourself is to love others. To love others is to love yourself. And so if you don't speak negatively in your mind and out of your mouth about yourself, it's going to become next to impossible to do that about someone else.
Once you realize the science of self, because we're all part of the same being, and we're cells of the creator, and we should treat each other as such and accordingly.
And know that words and thoughts are vibrations.
They are things. They are actual things. They are actually...
They exist.
Yeah, people feel them whether you know they do or don't. Whether they know you or don't. It's all in the vibe or vibrations.
Yeah, but if you got a calcified third eye, You know what I
It's
mean?
still stuff you feel.
All you want is product. I'm not denying it. I'm just saying, you know, it's not a calcification out here. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they still feel it.
And then so I'll just shoot through these. The city of Chicago has named February 28th Robert Williams Day. Huh? Big ups. Were you aware of that, Self Love?
I was not.
Yeah, there you go.
Blue Jays.
Yeah, Robert Williams Day. Big ups. I don't know if Mayor Lori Lightblood.
My understanding is that this was an individual who fancies himself as a rapper.
Was behind that, but big ups whoever was behind it. Yeah. Second announcement, our batch of t-shirts, you know, the first batch, they have been ordered. We're getting a lot of inquiries about the second batch, so, you know, hold your horses out there. You know, it's a big marketing sham. You know, you're going to pay us to wear our billboard. Big ups. Big ups. But beautiful, beautiful shirt. Beautiful, beautiful shirts. It's going to have this logo that's behind me on the front of there, and you can wear that and hold your head up high. This is a movement, the TATN and the Self Love Nation. This is a movement. So what we're doing is we need subscribers to get to where we need to be, need followers to do what it is that we're going to do. So we have certain tiers that we set up as we get an improvement of our subscriber base. We already reached the first one, which Self Love's going to get himself psychologically digressed right here by the brain boat.
That's right.
Yeah. So he's going to get hypnotized by someone's going to take him deep into his subconscious. We're going to get that arranged I'm still shortly. waiting. Another 200. When we get to 499 subscribers, myself and my lovely wife, we're going to skydive. Okay. Not going to name all the tiers for the sake of time, but I'll just tell you this: when we get to 2,999 subscribers, we're going to launch a proprietary mentors network, which we're connecting all the dots right now. Yeah, you're going to get to see me run a 3K, you know, God willing. That's right. 3K. You guys are going to pledge, and then we're going to, you know, give that money to some sort of, you know, boots on the ground type of organization right there in the city of Chicago. That's the intent. And then, but most important, we're going to get back to Africa. It's going to be things happen. All right. But at 9,999 subscribers, which is important, that's where Self Love and I are going to what?
Change the universe.
That's right. At least spark a change. But
spark
yeah.
a change.
Well, but it's all the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't start a fire. Can't
spark.
start a fire without a spark. I got the right thing on too. Huh? Dancing in the dark. Well, I bet you Ronnie Hardy would have been beating that hedge beat to that, boy. You know what I mean? Ronnie, boy, he played some of everything. Big ups, rest in peace. And then so go Jackrabbits. You guys could probably care less, but I'm out on the left coast. I didn't know I queued that video up.
Are we ready?
I suppose.
The Self Luv Show, giving you more than vitamins and minerals.
Food for your soul.
Information and plans.
Looks like we lost Diesel.
Making your mind grow with more growth and
Apparently.
development. BS is irrelevant to the intelligent. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is
What we represent. Welcome back. We ain't go nowhere because we had interesting content in between us meeting and doing what we do. So, today, the Self Love Show, we are unpacking the peculiarities of our
easy for us to say.
Yeah. Not so easy for me to say. I mean, easy for you to say, I guess.
I'm struggling
having
too.
An issue out there. It's an issue. I'm having an issue. Well, welcome back. We're going to expand way more into the topic because I've heard some other theories that really tripped me out. I was like, wow. Recently. Well, I didn't know what was going on really, because they just told us what to tell us, and then they told us what to tell us and what we to tell them back, because that was cool was for me, because they told me what to think and they told me what to regurgitate, and then that's what I did.
What they said.
Yeah, so they told us that you supposed to tell everybody that you from Africa, and they told us that that you got to tell everybody that you can't vote if you talk about some Indian.
All right. Part 3. First off, today's show is sponsored by Midwest Fest.
Presents house stock. It's going down in the town of Pembroke.
Links pinned in the chat.
And you would be wise to be there because it's going to be on and popping.
What's the dates there, Self Love?
It's going to be June 23rd to 25th. And on June 23rd, the music will start at 4 p.m. and end at 4 a.m. And then it will turn back on at 10 a.m. until 4 a.m. And then back on at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Wow. Yeah. Imagine a night at the warehouse where you're just out there, enjoying yourself and being one with nature.
You can glamp and do what you want to do. The energy on the land is so beautiful. You just might not understand until you get there. And it reminds me of my land in Mississippi in the deltas. It's peaceful.
We'll be going there at $4.99.
Got a lot less people trampling the land or whatever. Also, we've got a bunch of things going on. We're going to have a water balloon fight. We're going to have there's horseback riding opportunities on the land. We're going to have a glow light party. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, great music. So big ups to Midwest Fest and House Stock. That link's pinned in the chat. So we're going to make a case for the hollow moon. Self Love blurted out that the moon is hollow. And I'm not saying I'm in disagreement with him, but we'll talk about it. I used to be.
It is a theory. I mean, they claim that recently they sent a missile and hit the moon, and it rang like a bell for over an hour.
Well, there are other verified, besides the claims, for things that they said they've done. But the first case I'd make is that denser materials are found on the moon's surface, which suggests, to my point earlier,
that it's hollow.
There's been some sort of digging or mining or something going on to bring up the older rocks.
I dug into the South African piece because there was a high priest, Credo Machwa.
Was he a Kafir or was he some sort of melanin?
No, he's
indigenous.
Yes, and he's been dealing with the whole process. He's an ancestor now, actually.
Yes, so.
he's done a lot of public speaking on.
What's his name again?
Credo Metois. Credo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh damn! It just popped off the damn.
Well, what did he say?
He was the one from South Africa talking about when the moon arrived and all that, bringing that. He's a griot. They passed down all the information and all of that, and he was almost 100. He passed, but he had been speaking a long time. I've known about him since the 90s. On hearing him talk about different stuff. He's got a lot of stuff on YouTube if you want to check him out.
All right. Well, right now we're building a case for a hollow moon, and thanks for that. I'm going to also say the moon is a quarter size. It's a quarter of the Earth's size, right? So it's 1/4 the size of the Earth, but only 1% of its mass. So if you can imagine, if there was a being that was 1/4 your size, right? Take your height. If there's 1/4 your size, but that being only weighed 1% of what you weigh, that would suggest to me that that being doesn't have everything inside that being that I have inside me.
It can't.
So it could. Go ahead.
I mean, that's saying basically that it's hollow. Saying that the older stuff is on the outside and the newer stuff's on the inside.
It's
That
extremely
still doesn't
lighter.
make any sense, and none of that makes sense unless it's a craft. But
Have
still,
you guys,
older stuff on the outside still doesn't make sense. Well, yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Because
if they're mining, if they're digging, if they're drilling to get down to the hollow earth to create their base, then they would be bringing up the older rocks to the surface.
if it's hollow, then they're not drilling into it.
Well, they have to drill through the outer core.
It's a craft, so it's not. It's got a shell and it's hollow inside. I guess rock would be older if it settles on top of it because it's newer. If it's a new shiny thing.
So you believe that it's a craft. You don't believe it's a moon or some type of.
Right.
Yes.
He's just making a whole argument for it being a craft, which
Now let me ask you this.
But go ahead.
Do you believe that the other moons of other planets are the same thing?
I don't. And I'm gonna get
right.
There. I don't.
I don't.
I don't. Some may be, but I don't. But let me just make this case for the hollow moon, and then we're going to get into all these peculiarities. Apollo 12, Self Luv said there was a missile. Now, this has been verified by NASA. Apollo 12, after they left, we have to assume they did whatever they said they did for this particular thing. Apollo 12, they dropped the actual lunar module. When they pulled up, they dropped the lunar module back on the moon. And they said that there were seismic measurements that show that the moon rang just like a bell for over 60 minutes. Now, this was a scientific test that was allegedly done when they allegedly went to the moon and allegedly pulled up from it.
And since then, though, I was talking about the missile. Hit the missile, yeah.
Right. Since then. Apollo
both
13,
times, though, it's like, that's crazy.
Yeah, Apollo 13 Self dropped an even heavier object. And they said the moon rang for over 3 hours. And here's what was peculiar. They said the vibrations traveled a depth of about 20 miles. And they said these vibrations, this is science, this isn't me. They said these vibrations intensified the deeper it went down towards the Earth's surface. That could not happen to the moon's surface. That could not happen on Earth.
Actually, could probably happen on Earth, actually. But
right,
they wouldn't tell us that because the Earth is not what
the
they
Earth
say
is
it is. Yeah, there's a civilization in the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's a civilization that's living in the center of the earth?
Not necessarily the center, the earth.
Or somewhere.
I don't think it's a
in,
globe. I don't think it's a globe. There's a connection from.
So you think it's flat and there's a basement?
It's more like the snow globe, and it's not flat per se, but it's like a snow
But there's
globe.
these beings in
and
the
then
crawl
it's-
space.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole different space and a sun.
Well, I've heard that those grays that everybody talks about, those are basically organic
Us?
bots. No, they're
Well,
organic bots.
some
I've
of
heard
them.
that theory.
The
This is a
tall
different-
one, the
this is a
tall
different
ones is
theory.
what you're
Correct.
saying. Correct.
Correct. The tall ones use these little gray organic bots to take their measurements and land on the moon and do all their nonsense. Right. Where there's these regular ones that
Well,
look
that-
human-like.
They are the ones that they saw in the backyard in Las Vegas, the 10-foot grays, the big eyes and all that, are supposedly us in the future that they kept cloning. If they go along the path that is set now, they trying to cut down the population of the earth.
Yeah, that's a whole different theory.
And
I was
doing
just
all
giving
this
you a different theory, but go ahead
Yeah.
with your theory. That's a whole
Yeah.
different theory.
with the transhumanism and eliminating genders and all of this, then they'll get to the tall grays, and you keep cloning, then that's what will happen. Will look like the grays, the tall grays.
Yeah, but the theory I was talking about is you have these humanoid type aliens that utilize these. They've created these little beings, not the 10-foot
Yes.
people, but the little grays everybody talks about.
Yeah, the
and
ones
those
they
little beings just
captured
conduct
off
their
the
scientific
ships.
measurements, and they send them down to do all the grunt work.
Yeah.
But they're basically like AI controlled
Yes.
masses of biology. You know,
They have a hive mentality.
androids, right?
With
right.
a hive mentality.
Right. Correct. But that's not the ones who are running it. But that, again, that's just another theory. But flat moon. To the moon. To the moon. We're going to the moon on this show. So we talked about the vibrations. Self talked about a missile being sent, and even more vibrations, a third test even. So you have this place vibrating.
Allegedly.
You know, so it would sound to me like it's more hollow, Diesel, than not. The mass of it is 1% of what the planet Earth is, but yet it's a quarter of the size.
Well, I think you can't, because we don't have enough access to it, right? We can only go off of stuff they tell us, right?
NASA tells us, yeah.
NASA, right? The government, or
Which Self said stands for what? What's the acronym for NASA?
Never a straight answer.
All right, go ahead, Diesel.
And based off of that, we just don't have enough information to know what exactly it is, because it's so many different things out there to say. How the stuff they're telling us, how do we know it's the truth? You know what I mean? In regards to the actual moon, what they tested when they were there. Now they say, now one of the things, and this is funny because it kind of goes to like the information that the former presidents being charged with withholding, secret documents and top secret documents and things of that nature.
Donald Trump.
And I think they actually did when Obama was in office. He came out and made a statement like, "Hey, listen, I know." He's like, "Believe me, we did go to the moon." He came out and made a statement saying he wanted to thank the astronauts and stuff who went.
Obama
and
said
actually
that?
went there. Yeah, he made
Wow.
he made a statement.
Very,
when
very
he was in
interesting,
office.
because all around those times, people that was supposed that went to the moon said they didn't.
Well, he also said reparations were stupid. Not in so many words, but go ahead, Diesel.
Buzz Aldrin.
So
his name is Buzz. He's high all the time.
That's why it's buzz.
He made that statement. Matter of fact, let me see. I thought I had it ready for this segment.
You talking about Buzz? Oh, you talking about Obama?
You talking about Obama. The African American.
Yeah, what he actually said to but they have access.
Ain't too many of those. But
when they're actually presidents, they do have access to certain information.
Oh, hold on. No, there's 36 levels of top secret above the president.
I said certain. I didn't say all.
I know. I'm just saying.
This guy's former military.
He didn't have that.
Let him tell his story,
I didn't
and then
say
you jump in.
I said certain.
He didn't have it. He didn't have it to tell.
Let him tell let him speak, and then you'll rebuttal. We don't debate here.
I don't believe that he would come out and make a statement like he did unless he reviewed some information where he could make that statement and stand on it. And he said he didn't name no specific astronauts, but he said he wanted to thank the ones who did make that mission to the moon, as he felt that it did happen and it existed. So I'm just telling you what he stated.
Who's more credible, Obama or NASA, in your mind? I'd have to go with Obama.
Yeah, because NASA doesn't give you enough information for you to even try to verify different stuff.
Self-love. Who's more credible, Obama or NASA? If you had to choose, the guns to your head right now.
Well, I'd get shot in the head because I wouldn't trust either one at fucking all. Just tell you, they'd be like, "You gotta choose one." I'd be like, "I'll take the bullet."
Yeah, see, one thing they can't do is things that we see with our own eyes. Okay.
Oh, no, hold on. Come on, man.
Well,
you saw 9/11. You saw 9/11. What's the official on that?
Yeah, but he's saying they can't manipulate
I'm saying
what
they
the
can't.
people,
If
with the
something you
witnesses
see,
are saying.
something that you see, right?
Right.
If you're walking,
And I'm saying that's BS because
they can't tell you that the buildings didn't fall on 9/11. They can
seen
tell you
them
other
fall.
stories about it. They can tell you it's an
They
air
can tell
balloon,
you
but
how
they
it-
can't.
What
Correct.
may have caused it or whatever,
Correct.
but you've seen those things fall. You know they don't exist there. You go to New York right now, they ain't there no more.
Right.
If you went before that, they were there. That's a fact. They used to be there, they ain't there no more. Right? That's a fact. That's something you see.
Whether they were imploded, whether they were blown up, whether a plane hit them, those buildings collapsed.
Something you can
It was
verify.
it was the words that he used. You can't,
I understand what you're saying. I understand.
You know me.
You can't try
Wordsmith.
to analyze every single particular thing that a person says. Otherwise, you'll go crazy through your lifetime.
I won't.
Look at when the space shuttle. We seen that space shuttle go up. There was what was it? Seven astronauts.
Man, I was 16 years old. You talking about the one the teacher was on that blew
That
up?
exploded. Yeah.
Man, and 7 of them is still people that look just like them with the same name still here.
But it doesn't mean that we didn't see the space shuttle blow up. That's what he's saying.
It blow up. You seen it. It was on
Regardless
live
of who
TV.
was on it.
Right. Now, who was on it, and if those same people were on it and everything, that's another story. If you want to
Let him make his point, Self-love. Go ahead, Diesel.
But yeah, everything like he if you feel that the earth is flat, or you say not necessarily flat, but I'm not sure what you said totally, but if you're feeling that the earth is flat, that's almost like those dudes back in the 1300s, 1400s.
Copernicus.
Where they were killing people, the scientists who were telling them that the earth is round.
Well, Copernicus is given credit for saying the earth is round.
Yeah. So, but I mean, hey,
I will say this, and you said it as well. They can't make pyramids now the way that is in wherever they are all over the world. They can't make them now.
They can't.
Right.
No.
So to once you know that the technology and the things that they built is much more advanced than now, then at the same time you can't, to me, in my opinion, go back and discredit their information. Like you can't do what they did, but you can say what they said was malarkey.
Oh, I see where you're going with that. Right. I see
You
where you're
can't.
going
You
with
can't.
that.
You can't. It's more advanced than technology.
Kind of like when
but
they talk about the modern day NBA. It's so much more advanced. You tell me you can't listen to Michael Jordan tell you about how to approach the game. Using this analogy.
Yeah, so
you can't listen to Bill Russell, because the game is so advanced and everything. Bill Russell has nothing he can tell you. Rest his soul about the game.
Right,
I'm
but
agreeing
I
with
think that what he's saying about the pyramids, I think that's a different thing, though. That it's like
it's
they
not.
can't.
It's not a different thing because they made it in ancient times.
Right.
Yes, and we can't explain that, but
Right,
we're
they
going to
can't explain how they
discredit.
did
We're
it.
going to discredit what else they say. But
Well,
we
yeah,
can't-
because
we can't-
we're
we
going to
can't
say the
replicate.
spacemen. We're going to say the spacemen built it.
Well, the discreditment though is a different thing. They're discrediting it for a reason. They don't want to give credit to what they actually feel or think that it came from. So they'd rather try to say, hey, once they figure out that, wait a minute, this might be something that came from Black folks, right? They don't want to give that type of credit. So you go ahead and discredit it and you try to come up with anything
Their
else
minds can't conceive that Black folks did.
Exactly. And they don't want to give you that credit because
I
then
understand
it
the whole
gives
not
you-
wanting to give the credit, but I'm saying
Right.
for us as thinking individuals and know that they don't have the technology to make a pyramid now, to say that somebody that
to discredit everything else they said about science seems
Yes.
weird to you.
extremely weird because it's like a lot of the stuff they saying now makes no sense. And
Well, let's get to the peculiarities because this is a whole nother show. But let's get to the
Right, yeah,
peculiarities.
because we could do a whole different show.
Yeah,
arguing
that's
about
it.
that
We
stuff,
need to.
so, yeah.
We actually need to. So the moon, as I've mentioned, is a quarter of the size of the Earth, but allegedly is only 1% of its mass. So we've discussed that. Here's another fact that I want to unpack. No other moon, you were talking about other moons, Diesel. No other moon is large, is so large in proportion to its host. So there's no other moon that we've found using all of our science technology that's a quarter the size of its
those
Earth.
lights.
Self's been saying it's a spaceship, and I'm going to make a case for it. But go ahead. Next one. The moon orbits closer to the Earth than any other moon orbits. Now, this is huge because some people say it's a spy satellite from another technology, from another aliens, aliens. The moon literally orbits closer to Earth than any other known moon orbits to its planet. I wish I was making this up. This is what science is saying. So the moon's orbit is a perfect circle. Now, I wish I was making this up. The moon orbits around the Earth in a perfect circle. They call it a near perfect, in a perfect circle, as opposed to an elliptical orbit, which is found throughout the universe. This type of orbit, Diesel, is not found anywhere else. We're talking about the Earth's go ahead, Sal. Go ahead. Yeah, please.
Also, the Earth, the moon, what we see on it is a mirror of what's on the Earth. A mirror.
Wait, break that down. As above,
Okay.
so below. But break that down.
A mirror. If you take the a so-called photo of above the Earth, and then you take the mirror of it, it fits perfectly.
Really?
What
You're
we
saying it's
see
a mirror
on the moon.
image?
Yes, it fits what's perfectly.
Where are you getting this from? Like where?
Some deep research, and I don't know exactly who I got it from. I went down a rabbit hole, and someone said it on TikTok, and then I went to
Gotta
YouTube
be careful on
and
TikTok.
find
There's a
that.
bunch of those Chinese on there. You know what I
whatever.
mean? They want-
I went past that though, and then I went into to NASA and looked at the so-called shot they had.
NASA sounds like massa.
Well, you know, it might as well be, because they just tell us a bunch of BS and we're supposed to believe it.
Well, they're scientists. But now here's another fact. The Earth's distance from the sun is 400 times its
Allegedly.
distance. I mean, we've got to take certain givens so we can even have a conversation here.
If everything's allegedly, then
Right. Everything's allegedly.
right. Nothing. What can you verify then? Everything's alleged. Nothing's
Right.
fact.
If it didn't
Nothing's
come
nothing.
off TikTok, this guy's going to say it's allegedly. You know what I mean? He brings us a fact on TikTok. But I
didn't
hear
bring
you.
the fact off TikTok. I said where I saw it first, and then I went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And
listen, I
and-
get back to the point of certain things are unexplainable. Perfect distance from the sun. 93. No, hold on, let me talk. 93 million miles, right? From the Earth to the sun. Perfect distance for us to live. Venus is a little too close, right? Too hot on Venus.
You're
Mars
talking
is
about the Goldilocks zone.
right.
And that's all been told to us. So I mean,
But my point
Right.
is,
We're discussing this. We're comparing the scientific fact off of what we feel.
Right. So again, the moon, perfect distance from the Earth in terms of, they say that you could even bounce if you got the right kind of laser or telescope, you can beam off the reflectors that they left on there from the other Apollos, from some of those Apollos.
It's a mirror, so yeah, it's a perfect reflector.
Right. But
It's
they're
perfect
saying
for
that
us. This is a Goldilocks zone that you're talking about. It's perfect for us, but it may not be perfect for some other beings who could exist.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like everything's set up perfectly for human existence on this planet. Mars is a little too far away, although they've got some of the stuff that that you can have life, but it's a little bit far and it's cold. So I mean, but if you say none of that is true, then you can't even have a conversation, because
that's why I told him at the start of the show.
There is a conversation that can be made.
Point it out. We always want to point it out.
There's life on these so-called planets, as far as I'm concerned, but they exist on this plane, but it is extraterrestrial in nature, but
I think we all agree.
Space.
I think all three of us believe that.
Yeah, but it's not in space as far as I'm concerned.
Well, let me just get this fact. The Earth's distance from the sun is 400 times its distance from the moon, to your point. The size of, I understand. You don't agree with any of these facts. We understand, Brother Wordsmith. The Earth's distance, according to modern science, is 400 times its distance from the moon. The size of the sun, according to modern science, is 400 times the size of the moon. Think about this. Is this a coincidence?
You can look, you can look at with your own eyes outside. Now, whether you think that they don't exist, what you're looking at, but you can clearly see
you can watch the moon block the sun.
Than the sun.
Well,
the sun is bigger than the moon.
Until there's a total eclipse.
Right. Where they have that whatever that time frame is that they cross each other's path.
Correct. And
then
the total eclipse is proof that the moon appears in our sky the same size as the sun. So for the moon to be positioned, you got the sun here and it's huge, and you got the moon here and it's smaller. You know, if you guys take a dime and you can place it close enough to your eye where it blocks out the whole sun. And for the moon to be put perfectly in a sweet spot within our universe, within our solar system, for us to evolve, and perfectly in that sweet spot, allegedly, to look like it's the size of the sun, for me, if this is true, self-love, is mind-blowing. And this isn't found anywhere else that scientists allegedly self-love. that scientists have allegedly seen and observed with their telescopes and et cetera, and all their equipment, satellites in our solar system anywhere.
And you get the one too. You also get the one when the sun blocks the moon, right?
Yeah, lunar, solar
eclipse.
Yeah,
Parts of it. That's what that. See, all of this
and when you think about
is mathematics.
Well, it
Yes.
is mathematics. Go ahead, Self. I want you to go into it, but this is what Diesel's kind of saying, though. They can lie about so much, but they can't lie about what you're seeing.
what you see with those two
Well,
eyes, as long
yeah.
as it's not an illusion or a
Yeah,
trick.
they can, because they can tell you that the sun is much bigger and farther away, and when they line up, it blocks it.
I mean, they could because
well,
we
yeah,
can't
good point.
Facts.
because
Let me
we
tell you
can't
something.
verify.
Let me tell you something.
That's a
They
good
can't
point.
verify that. And let me tell you something. A fact is something that's agreed upon. That's what makes it a fact. It doesn't make it the truth or what is happened.
So the fact that we say 2 + 2 is 4, everybody just agrees on that.
Yes.
Okay, so and if
That's
you're
how it even exists. Somebody put that in motion and
I got you.
decided that 2 + 2
if you're walking down the
was
street,
4.
if you're walking down the street
Uh-huh.
and a German Shepherd runs right past you, and you've
Okay.
seen that German Shepherd run right past you, or a dog, let's just say a dog.
No, German
You know
Shepherd.
what
I
kind
tell
of-
you, and I tell you, it was a Rottweiler.
And then someone say, "Hey man, did you see a dog run past you?" Yeah, I just seen him run right past me. That's something you've seen with your own eyes. You can verify it. That's a fact. You've seen it, right?
Okay, but there also you could be have a bunch of thirst, just max thirst. You're in the desert and you see something and you think down there
The
and it's-
oasis.
yeah, that's not there.
A mirage because you're thirsty.
Yes. Okay. And I mean, it is real to you at the time, but that doesn't make it real.
Like right now, we're looking at you with headphones on your head. That's a fact, right, Mills? We both can see he's
Yeah, I
got
can see
headphones
it.
on his head, right?
I can see it.
Okay, so unless
Hey,
that's
big
an
ups,
optical
big ups,
illusion,
Sharuka Israel. Big ups. Go ahead, bro.
unless that's an illusion, it's a fact that we can see him with headphones on his head while we're having this conversation,
Yes.
or what appears to be headphones.
We can see it. But what Self saying is, if I can get you to agree, is he frozen or what's going on? But if I can,
think so.
yeah, I think he's
The alien's frozen.
because he was like that earlier, and I thought he was frozen, but then he started talking. So I'm like, all right.
The alien's frozen. Said he talking.
But what Self
crazy,
is saying
giving
is
out too much info.
is
It's
they can
frozen.
program us to agree that he's sitting there without headphones on his head, then that makes it a fact. But we'll let him answer that. But let me push forward, bro. Now, here's something I came up with, Diesel, and I wanted Self Love to hear it, but I'll repeat it maybe when he comes back. Now, those facts I gave, alleged facts, about the moon size and proportion to the sun, which leads to the eclipse, right? I thought to myself, because they're saying it's not a perfect eclipse anymore, but it once was. So I said to myself, when was it perfect? I said, that'll probably give me the time frame of when man came into consciousness. This was just something that came to me in a flash. Now, here's something I looked up. Science says the exact date of the origin of life on Earth is unknown. But scientists have found evidence of life as early as 3.7 billion years ago in Greenland, and possibly earlier. Life on Earth emerged after the planet formed about 4.5 billion years ago. 4.5 billion. Keep that in mind. And developed conditions suitable to support life as we know it. There's some controversy over whether some fossils formed from 4.1 to 4.28 billion years ago, if they're actually biological or not. Life will remain mostly small and microscopic until about 480 million years ago, when complex multicellular life arose, 580 million years ago. Now, I asked Google after that, when was the last time that the moon was perfectly blocking the sun? And it said the moon is gradually moving away from the Earth at a rate of about 3.8 centimeters per year due to tidal interactions. Now, this is the moon is affecting it. This is me throwing that in. This means that in the past, the moon was closer to the Earth. If it's moving away, you have to assume that it was in the past closer to the Earth and appeared even larger in the sky than it does today. According to some calculations, the last time the moon was close enough to create a total eclipse that lasted longer than 7 minutes was about 600 million years ago. 600 million years ago. Now, you remember when I asked Google, it said life remained mostly small and microscopic until about 580 million years ago. Now, this time, in my mind, and I was postulating it before I even did the research, Dezo, I said when the moon was perfectly blocking the sun, it's the universe, it's God telling us when life as we know it started on Earth. And if we push forward as the moon's moving away, it'll tell you when life as we know it will be different. Now, I wish I was making this up. The largest total solar eclipse in recorded history occurred on July 16th, 2186 BC, allegedly, and lasted for 7 minutes and 28 seconds. What do you say about that? My theory.
No,
that when the moon was blocking the Earth, and it's kind of backed up by science, that's something, it's a marker for us to know that that's when consciousness began.
Again, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that just, it's unexplained phenomena, how some of this stuff is set up, right? Because if you think of it in a certain way, you say, well, did it take that long for us to get to be human? You know what I mean? To get to humans? Did it take all of those years for these microscopic organisms to develop into humans? And then when you throw it in, you throw in all of the creatures, then the dinosaurs lived for all these millions of years before we touched the planet. Now, so
dinosaurs were conscious, though. See, when I talk consciousness, I'm not just saying human.
Okay,
life
so
as we know it.
Okay.
And they said, according to science, it started 580 million years ago. Also, according to science, the moon was in place perfectly 600 million years ago, which I figured is a 20 million year margin of error.
And when does ancient civilization begin? What's the length on that? The time frame?
You're talking some thousands of years.
Exactly. Not even, you see what I mean? So it take all that time before it gets to where it's like.
But I don't think it's so much about us than it is about consciousness.
I know what you're saying.
This is just me, because you mentioned the dinosaurs, then we'd have some of that in us as far as consciousness.
We would have to, because they ain't making up them bones that they be finding. So we know that they live.
Self Love was here for this.
Right. So, well, if you
talk about the bones are made up.
Yeah, he'll say they made up, but if you go by how things evolve and evolution, you can see some of the reptiles that exist today. You can tell, like, hey, this probably came from something that looked like that. And the different ways that they test these things. So they could test those fossils to say, this is how old that is. Just like they could test the stones up inside the pyramids.
Carbon dating.
And say, hey, this is that old. You see what I mean? So there's some stuff you do got to say, okay, you can test it to verify. Some stuff you can't. Like the moon, we can't really test anything because it's who has it, who has access to it.
Right. So some things you're gonna have to use your own discernment and and faith and Now, lunar dust, they call it regolith. It has different chemical makeup than the moon rocks, which I mentioned. So that's peculiar. They said the moon has no magnetic field. Now, some scientists says it has very little, but essentially no magnetic field, infinitesimal. But the moon rocks that we brought back have a strong magnetic field.
Would it have anything to do with being on Earth that it's affected?
That's what I was just thinking. It could. It definitely could.
Because, no gravity on the moon.
Well, there has to be gravity because there's just less gravity.
Right. Well, yeah, very, very less.
It's
Very
less because
so.
allegedly the men were walking on it, and if there's no gravity, those rocks wouldn't sit. Supposedly, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right now, uranium-236 and Neptune-237, they're very radioactive elements that don't occur naturally, yet they're found abundant on the moon. So this could suggest some alien activity, or it could be, to your point, that it's in a different environment than us. But you have this uranium-236 and Neptune-237, radioactive elements that we're able to generate here on Earth, but they're occurring abundantly up there on the moon.
And if it's the kind of uranium that they use within certain kinds of weapons, then
nuclear reactions.
I could see why they're always trying to go up there.
Correct. And get there before the enemies get there, before China and Russia. Correct.
And they're all going up there allegedly constantly. Yes.
Yes. On 3771, water vapor was allegedly spotted on the moon from Earth. And there's water vapor there for 14 hours. Boulder tracks. I'm going to get some pictures up here for you. And Self was having trouble with his computer.
If there's water vapor up there, and let's say we've always heard about there being signs of water on Mars, right?
Right.
We've heard of that. So you would think moon being closer to the sun than Mars, then you could have the possibility to have it. Doesn't mean that, it's enough where you can have life there, human life, I should say, but I can imagine that.
Yeah, well, I had a oh, why is this doing this on my computer? I got an image. I'm gonna show of what they're saying, and they had other sciences. These look at these images, and they couldn't discount them. And even NASA. And these are things that people can't explain. Okay, I got it. So also, now you've got boulder tracks, right? So you've got on Earth, they've done tests because people were saying, man, look in the desert. You got these rocks that are moving across the desert and over time. So they figured out why it's happening. But if you look here at this moon pic, share it. Now, seriously, don't let me lead you. So I forgot what they call it, where rocks move on their own. They move like a very small distance every year, and they leave these trails, right? It's been proven in the desert. But they said what's interesting is that these rocks are going uphill. But you just gave me a thought that maybe it's due to the lighter gravity that it's able to go uphill.
Possibly, because again, we don't know the full makeup of the moon as far as what's in it, what, you know what I mean? For that matter, we don't know a lot. Probably, as far as the center of the Earth. But we can only go by stuff that they tell us and try to judge, or different things.
Well, you're talking about your eyes and the eye test. Look at this. Look at this. There's a trail that could have been made, but bored out by a vehicle, or it could have been bored out by some random moon rock boulder that's moved over time. And we're looking at the picture here. What's more likely? Where's Self Love at?
There he is. He's back.
Let me see. My computer is acting strange. Let me stop share right quick.
Yeah,
I don't. Go ahead, so I see you now. You had to use your phone.
yeah, man. My internet is shut down at my house, and both computers say that I got full bars. And oh shit, come on.
Turn it
That's
sideways.
that's the aliens talking about you giving up too much info.
No, I'm telling you, I was telling the truth. I know I was telling the truth.
What
It
did you
cut me
see?
right off.
Did you see that screen share? With the
I
tracks.
Where at? On the
He
moon?
was on the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, these are tractor tracks on the moon.
Yeah, but we didn't put them there though.
Yeah, but they're saying that it could be rocks. Here, I'm gonna share it now.
Still, you already know.
I mean,
Almost all of the unclassified or released photos.
look at that picture, Self. This has been a verified picture from the moon.
I'm telling you, even that picture's been
doctored.
Yes, because there are structures on the so-called moon that are.
Oh, we've got pictures of those so-called structures. But I was just
not a
addressing
lot
that
of
picture.
them because they get scrubbed from almost all the NASA pictures that they show from there. You might see them faintly in the background. I've seen unscrubbed photos that they're structures, and it's a trip that what we see, the view we see of the moon is a straight up mirror image of the land masses on Earth.
To an extent, because it ain't like I see no trees and no vegetation and no lakes and ponds.
Well, what you can see as like a shadow version of it. It ain't getting to that. It's really the land masses. It ain't no it's not sharp enough to be like, it's like a mirror image on a light plane, different light plane.
All right, so you guys are looking at strange surface lights. So strange surface lights have been observed by astronomers since the days of Aristotle. NASA reports that between 1540 and 1967, there's been over 570 flashes reported. Just light flashes on the moon.
Yeah, I
Anybody?
mean, it's got its own light, just like the sun does. There are different entities.
So you're saying like a solar flare? These are lunar flares?
Yeah, this is the opposite of what the sun is doing, or, at least in temperature. I don't know about the frequency. I haven't looked into that, because the moon might be dropping gems on us too, like yin and yang. The solar flares are dropping jewels on our orifice and to our avatars. And a lot of people have a calcified pineal gland and they don't get the messages, or the messages that they're receiving from the daily media is overcoming the messages that are being sent.
Diesel, what's your comments on these flashes that's been reported? You know it happened before 1540, but it's just what they have a recorded record of flashes coming from a dead object.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't have enough information to know. I mean, you don't know what it could be from. If we knew more to make up of the moon, we could, make a guess that it's coming from the moon. We don't know if it's coming from something from the sun. We don't know if it's coming from extraterrestrial life form that made the flash, or something that's beaming from the Earth to it. We just don't know. Don't have enough information.
All right. I know Self mentioned artificial structures.
By artificial, I mean not created by nature.
Yeah, artificial.
Yeah, just to qualify that, because artificial, people could think about a lot of things.
Okay. So this is supposedly a tower that they're going to check out allegedly. It's hard to see because it's, blurry. But this, you see the tower going up here. And
I've
they said,
seen the perfect picture of this.
and what does it look like? Because they've said this thing is towering over the moon, like larger than the Willis Tower.
Well, my understanding that it's well over a mile high.
Yeah.
So like 6 miles is what was said with the caption, but everything got to be taken with a grain of salt because everything we've been taught has been a lie. So everything we look at got to be looked at sideways. You know what I mean?
All right. So for the sake of the show, let's assume that, because this, what's the point of any show we do? We can just say,
I'm just
what I mean?
saying. I said what
Right,
I said. That I
right,
seen the
we've made that
picture of
point.
this. I seen the clear picture of this, and they said it was 6 miles high. I did put that in there before I
Yeah.
differed.
Yeah. No. And I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, assuming now this has been supposedly checked out,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Yes, I agree with that.
So, you don't see this anywhere on Earth. Diesel?
No.
No. I mean, it's hard to tell from that, from that picture, what that is. I wish they had like a side view clear shot because it looks like it's just an overhead view, right? So if you could see it more from the side and see actually how tall it is, maybe you can better, clear understand it. I know a lot of people.
Hard to see how tall it is because I've seen the picture from
the side, and you still couldn't tell.
I mean, it's nothing really to reference it to. I just said, they said it was 6 miles high, so that's because of what they said.
Yeah, it'd be hard to tell just from looking from a picture.
Very, because in some pictures there's something you could reference it to and say, okay, that means it could be this tall or that big, because you could see something you can reference. In that picture, you can't reference, even from the side. You can't really reference. I just gotta go by what they said.
Well, here's another one. Now, does this look like a natural structure, or is that a pyramid? This is on the moon. You talked about Mars pyramids, but here's one allegedly on the moon.
Yeah, I've seen this too, and that looks like a pyramid. Period.
Diesel, what are you seeing?
Man, I don't know what that is, man. You can't even tell. I ain't gonna say that's no damn pyramid or nothing else. It's just, you got like a black thing, looks like it could be a big old beetle. And you can't really tell. Then there's light right there.
I think that's a shadow. I think the big.
That's what I'm saying, man. You can't tell. That's what I'm saying.
I've seen the clear picture, but I mean,
right? It's just hard. It's hard.
Billy Carson. Hey, Diesel. These pictures. Go to Billy Carson and look at those pictures because he has those.
No, I know he's got a lot of pictures, and a lot of the ones I see from them. Even then, I'm like, man, those are hard to tell, but they supposedly been verified by, certain people and things of that nature. So, I'll go with that if it's like been verified.
I
by
want you guys' honest opinion. You know what I mean?
I can tell you from what I see, I can't tell what it is.
Well, I've seen a clearer picture, so it's a trip.
Yes, like that. That looks like
that picture clear enough?
It looks like two crates in the ground, from what I can see.
I've seen clear pictures of these two. Never mind.
And the moon is dark for the most part, man.
One side is supposedly bright, and the other is dark. But according to Self Love, it's creating its own light, so there wouldn't be a dark side.
It's a craft. It creates its own frequency.
It is emitting its own frequency, and it's a different frequency from what the sun is emitting.
Well, why doesn't it give some of us a call sometime if it's got its own frequency? Let it holler.
Because our limited understanding of what's going on around us doesn't conceptualize or receive that frequency if you're not on the right vibration.
Mm-hmm. It's possible. I mean,
They
it's possible.
talking all the time.
Hold on, I only got a couple more to show y'all. I mean, these pictures are coming from the moon, so it's tough to make. Allegedly coming from the moon.
Allegedly. Somebody's watching us from the rim.
Now that, and when I was a kid, I always thought the moon was spying on me. I don't know. These things don't look natural to me. A blurry picture or clear picture, just for me personally.
Yeah, it's not. And they've redacted some of the so-called, I don't know what to believe.
I mean, does the moon have weather patterns? Does it get wind? Stuff like that? No. Doesn't get any kind of
I don't.
I mean, it's got it has a thin atmosphere. Once that supposedly, this is what they told us. Very thin atmosphere where gravity is a third of what it is on this planet.
Well, they said that because they were basing it off the moon allegedly being a quarter of the size, but if it only has 1% of the mass, their numbers ain't even math. But now
none of it maths. That's what I was saying the whole time. But
it don't got no oxygen because you got to have a spacesuit to be on it. If you ain't got no spacesuit, you're dead. There ain't no oxygen up there.
No, ain't no oxygen. But look,
I don't know, man. I don't know. We got melanin. It's an adaptogen. I don't know that, bro.
Well, I wouldn't want to be dropped up off there without a spacesuit. I promise you that.
I wouldn't go there without one, but I promise you, once I got there, I would test the waters because we can't believe everything we've been taught and told.
Hold it. All right, y'all. They zoomed in here for you guys, for you skeptics. Are these not tracks? You're an ex-military guy, Diesel. I mean, come on, this ain't occurring naturally. I don't care what y'all can see or not see.
Man, them look like some lines in the game Battleship. You got the 3 ships lined up. I don't know what that is. You can't tell.
I mean, you see the reference. You got these craters around here, and that's another point. All the moon craters are at the exact same depth. It's like they hit a wall, self-love.
And they all look the same, too, for the most part. They all
They're
got
the
that same
depth.
kind of circular look to them.
It's like a camouflage. And that's what Self's been saying. This is it's an artificial satellite. It's created by another entity. But prior to the entity, because this is a science project, prior to the entity that created our existence. But hold on, I'm gonna do one more picture and then we'll be done with these pictures. One more picture. All right, here we go. Last one. Self, you tell me if this is one of the pictures you've seen. I don't know if you got access to the Swooks pictures or what kind of pictures you're seeing. You should dig them up and have them ready for the show. Here's another one.
I don't know that it was. I told you, Billy Carson. He brought up Billy Carson. Billy Carson got a anomaly website, a whole group that he's
got tons of pictures, tons of them.
Yeah, I mean, look at this.
And he did the work to get them, to get to pay for them. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've seen this too. Yeah,
I mean, look at this. Diesel, come on.
Yeah, I see it, bro. I don't know what it is, bro.
Hoagland.
I don't.
Yeah, there's a guy Hoagland, Richard Hoagland. He's passed away too. He had above top secret, well above the president clearance, and he talked about it and put a bunch of these on Project Camelot, and he showed where a whole lot of pictures of the so-called moon were scrubbed and fixed and changed.
Oh yeah, they've been a lot of the pictures they fed to the public over the years with both
All of them.
sticks.
Yeah, all of them. They have a whole department. They've admitted to
And
that.
and those are in the globe, under the
Like the archives, like they real pics.
yeah.
Well,
But all of that is, well, it's on the plane to me from my digging and looking into. There's not really no globe here. It's a plane that we exist on, and those places are out there. And people call them planets and all of that, but I don't really know about that.
well, there's a lot of videos.
They're under
To
a
your
different
point,
globe, but we all under a whole globe, but they got a different globe type of thing.
Well, we got to label them something. So they call them planets. They planets until, if it's if it's labeled something different, just label it something different,
We can just call it what it's called. You know what I mean? We can say Mars. We could say, Pluto or Jupiter.
well, to your point about the
calling it a planet.
To your point about the yeah, there's been many photos and videos that have just come up missing. So this is another peculiarity about this whole thing. Apollo 11 was shook. Apollo 11, those astronauts who allegedly went up there, they said they saw something. And to Ace's point, why haven't we returned?
Especially when I'm using my phone, excuse me, which allegedly has more technology than they use to get there. I went to NASA with my children in Texas and walked through the place they got memorialized, so-called memorialized, where the people that was on the ground did their work. And they were like, the phone you have in your hand has more technology than we use to get to the moon. So why the hell can they get back there?
Well, they said that Diesel mentioned spacesuits. They said they're perfecting the spacesuit.
Man, that's hogwash. That's just propaganda. And that's how I feel about it. I'm gonna mute myself because we're not a debate show, so I got a whole segment.
Well, hey man, I know a pilot. If a pilot's up in that air too high and they don't have their oxygen mask on, they're gonna pass out. So you tell me when they get to the higher they go to get out of space, you gonna be breathing without a suit on?
Were those pilots black or were they melanated?
Having both.
No.
You can. I done talked to pilots before, man.
Well, I got you. Yeah, but most of them ain't been to space. It's not.
No, but I'm saying they go
and
up.
it's so-called space because nobody really goes to space. There's only so far you can go up.
What are we gonna label it then? You can label it whatever you want to label it. What do you want to call it?
It's still under the firmament. That's what I.
But we're gonna label it space for this discussion, since that's what it's been labeled.
You guys are having a flat Earth debate and don't even know it.
Hey, look,
I'm not having a debate. Yeah, we don't debate. I'm just stating my opinion.
His opinion, my opinion, your opinion, and we see what stuff lines up. But if you go up high enough, you're gonna pass out due to lack of oxygen in that. If you ain't got no spacesuit or a mask or whatever you want to call it on your head to provide you that air,
so we've been
pass
told.
out.
So we've been told.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you've been told by other pilots.
I know some pilots who told me specifically, yes, you gonna pass out. My nephew right now, he's a pilot.
Did they tell you they took their mask off while they were up there?
And passed out? Did they take their mask and they didn't have a mask on and passed out? Come on, man. I'm just telling you. They're trained, and we all go through training, and it's programming.
Well, listen, let me ask you guys, and I'll start with
Next thing you know, you be talking about, yeah, you get shot with a bullet. Did you feel the bullet go through you? Did it hurt when it hit you? Did it
You're
penetrate?
talking about something that people have experienced that you're talking about, like,
He's
and
saying it's
you're
still
talking
secondhand.
about something that very few people ever experience.
You
and
don't know any
you're
pilots? You
knowledgeable
don't
about
know
it.
any pilots. You don't know any pilots.
Yeah,
How
I know.
the
Pilots.
Are
I'm
you
asking.
kidding me?
Okay, so
Yes,
ask
I
some of
know
the
pilots.
pilots you know. Ask them. If you fly up high enough.
Well, in an airplane, they keep
They're
it, they keep
trained on
oxygen
that,
in there.
bro.
Even in a commercial flight, you can't be up
Yeah,
there
they're trained
without oxygen.
Right.
Why?
They're not gonna even let them experience that, bro. They're trained on that.
I'm more speaking of military pilots, not necessarily commercial flights. I'm talking about military fighters, things of that nature.
They do
You
not
ask
let them
them.
fly up there and experience a blackout on a flight that they're piloting.
No, it can happen. It doesn't matter whether they're trying to do it or not. It can happen. Trying to tell you, man.
Well,
All right,
listen,
I talk to some of your pilots, even the ones who ain't military. Talk to them.
All right, listen. I got a question for you guys.
Like
We
I
can
said,
go
I'm
around.
gonna be quiet
We can
out
go
there.
around. We can go round and round forever. All right. I got a question for you guys.
I'll be quiet.
No, I mean we can go round and round forever. I mean,
Hey, we're gonna go to the moon like the Avengers. We don't need no suits.
Let me ask you guys.
Just go.
Is it more likely that the moon was formed by the way the currents say, either through capture theory, accretion theory, fission theory, giant impact theory, vapor theory? Or is it more likely that the moon is a hollow, artificial satellite with beings in it from Anunnaki? Is it just a dead rock?
It's easy for me.
We've presented scientific evidence, the vibrations, the different. It has no constitutions, no properties of its host planet. It's oddly, in the Goldilocks zone. To your point, Diesel.
It's still allegedly all of this, and I agree. This is what we've been taught.
Oh, man, allegedly, yeah. All right. But I'm going to give my vote.
I know.
I think it's less likely that the moon is what we've been taught. So when the computer kicked you out, I had a postulation, which has been, in my mind, proven by science. If when the moon was in the perfect position, because they say it's moving away from the planet 3.8 centimeters every year. So there's at one point where it appeared in the sky where it was exactly the same size as the sun at the point of a total eclipse. That point, I went back self and asked Google, and they said that was 600 million years ago. They said when life on Earth as we know it started, it was 580 million years ago. So I believe the moon was put there by the brother gods, all right, from my research. I don't think it's full of reptilians and lizard people, but I believe it was put there as which I was discussing with Diesel, as a trophy to let us know when consciousness started here on this planet. That's my theory. You guys can, give all your theories you want. But that's my theory.
Interesting concept. I never would have thought of that at any point. A lot of concepts you have, I wouldn't think of until you say them.
I had the concept and then I did the research and it lined up. But go ahead, bro. No, go ahead. I'm serious. I was like, damn, I didn't expect it to line up.
Yeah.
I did.
There's a lot in the whole situation that we have to look at and discuss and agree upon or disagree upon.
Well, using your discernment, what's your theory about the moon?
The moon was flown here to trap souls. It sets up the recycle and follow the light when you pass away and you regenerate here so they can use your currency, which is your energy of your life.
So is it trapping all souls or particular souls?
Souls that follow the light and follow what they've been told and taught and indoctrinated to, because we've always been told and taught, follow the light.
Pull the
And
phone
the
back.
light,
Pull
the
phone
light
back.
is
Pull the phone back from your face. We can hear you just fine.
the light is the moon. I did a 2G. I was 2G all the time.
Oh yeah, the whole damn time.
That wasn't even me, bro. That was spirit. But
I think I got you. I think I see what you're saying. So souls leave their avatar here. They're out seeking. They're going through the darkness of the expanse, and they're programmed to follow the light and end up trapped in the moon, kind of like a fly trap I got on my wall here with this
and
nice
then
bright light.
they're just regurgitated back here where you lose all your memory and you start to fuck over.
So who put it there? You said the why, I think. But so what are they getting out of it? They're getting energy from the souls to power their ship, or
Well, on this plane where we live, they propagate fear and fucked up shit and everything, and people live in that state of mind, and their hormones and all that produce a field of energy that's siphoned upon by
Gotcha.
these beings that's
So
what they live off of.
I got you. I got you. It's their energy. It's kind of like the way a plant has photosynthesis.
Yes.
Feeds off the energy of the sun.
Yes, they feed off our fear.
Diesel, give us your theory as we wrap up. Interesting. So,
For the moon itself,
yeah.
I mean, I don't really have no theory for it, because like I said, it's just not enough information for us to know if it could be something like what he's saying, where it's like some, what did he say, like a mirror image of what we're doing on Earth or something to that effect, like a mirror.
Yeah.
It's just not enough information. But I don't know. I
So
really don't. I really don't have like no type of theory in regards to it other than.
But you've heard all the peculiarities. I mean, we don't see it on any other moon.
But
allegedly.
Yeah, and again, the other moons, we've never been on any of them. Have we? I remember the spacecraft Galileo, right?
Have we been on any of them?
The other moons. Have we been on any of them?
It's been on any moons is the question.
Well,
but no, we have.
I've never been to the moon. I mean, metaphysically, I meditated and look, but
you did some remote viewing.
Yeah, but no, I was not physically there on this so-called moon. So no moon have we been on, and we're all just hearing the programming. And I'm sorry, my fault.
No, I was just saying that the spacecraft Galileo, when it was doing, and again, like you guys will say, allegedly, but this is something that NASA sent out that went through the solar system, and it got past asteroid belt, past Mars, and when it got to Jupiter, it was swinging around Jupiter and its moons. Now it was sending back data from what it was recording, but I never got a chance to really look up and review what it was saying, because I remember at the time, this was back in the 90s, I was reading a book that was talking about that and how they had some conspiracy things saying that when Galileo was done, it's going to crash into Jupiter, and that the government had sent it there for the purpose to become another sun, because it had like a plutonium fuel system, something, and when it hits Jupiter, it's going to be like this big explosion, and we're going to have another sun out there. And it actually did crash into Jupiter, but that ain't what happened. It just crashed into it, made like that weather hole that you see on it, or the big weather dot. It just did like a big thing, and that was pretty much it. But I never really got to review what they say that it sent back as far as the data that it was sending when it passed by a lot of those different moons in the solar system. So
there has been another sun seen in our, it's smaller than
in our particular galaxy or universe.
I mean, from their frame that they tell us, is still a legend.
Well, going off my theory, now, which is a lot of what they tell us to even come to it. Okay. So to your point, Diesel, those other moons.
Mm-hmm.
If our moon is moving away from its host, then as above, so below, I would assume those moons are moving away as well. My point is, at some point, those moons probably would have been a perfect distance away from their host in order to block the sun. And so I would challenge NASA and the scientific community, anyone who's looking for life, is to find those moons that are a perfect distance away from their host in order to block their suns. And then they may find life there.
Yeah, the only issue is the ones that have like the most moons, they're so far away that they don't get enough sun to be able to get the energy needed to get the stuff that you would have to have life. They're just so far away. Like Jupiter actually has a makeup similar to the sun as far as the gases that it has, but it's got a lot of bad stuff that mixes with it that doesn't get that life off, which, it could actually, the outer planets of the solar system, if it was like a sun.
I bet if you do the math of Jupiter's moons and find out when the moons were blocking the sun, that's probably when Jupiter had life on it. It's just my wacky theory.
No, it surely could have, because we don't know the stuff that's that far away. I mean, you take the closest stuff to us, Mercury and Venus. I mean, not Mercury and Venus, but Venus and Mars. Yeah. Venus and Mars. And they always say, hey, Venus is just too damn hot. But Mars is the one.
You guys were talking about Thor. Valiant Thor said he was from Venus. Self Love. Valiant Thor.
Hey?
Yeah, I mean,
But again, if it is Thor,
we deal with our programming and what they told us exists on these other entities. Like, I don't want to call them planets or whatever. And I just, know that melanin is an adaptogen, and we've adapted all over the universe where we've been. And I wish I had an aluminum foil cap I could put on right now.
Yeah, I'm making one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to have one. And I think now I found I need to go online and just spew what the universe has taught me.
Yeah, spew it. You know what I mean? Why not? You know what I'm saying? God brought you back to this world when you left your avatar for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if y'all had something else to wrap up on. Diesel, if you had something to say before I hit the conclusions.
No, that's pretty much it, man. For me anyway, it's just a lot of unknown. It could be anything that we're talking about.
Yeah.
We just don't, we don't know yet.
I agree so hard with Diesel on that. That's, man. And I would say, like, to a certain degree, You have to ignore what you've been taught and told.
Just don't be closed-minded. You can't be
Yes.
fully closed-minded. You
That's
gotta
why I said
leave
ignore.
Yeah,
part of it open.
I believe I believe that discernment is a tool.
Many
that can be
people don't have
fine-tuned.
that. So they need to ignore what they've been taught so they can look anew and have an open mind, and exactly that's all the same thing we all three are saying.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah. Because if you read all the scriptures, it talks about discernment, and I know all the scriptures could be lies, but I'm just saying, for me, anybody could tell me anything. I learned that coming up. You
Right.
know,
And that
anybody could.
means every scripture could be real and it could be fake, and you got to decide.
Correct. You got to discern. And so when you lay your head down to bed at night and you're praying and you do your meditations, you're doing that, asking for guidance to be able to discern, through what's minutia, what's BS, and what's real, and because or else you're just closing your eyes to the signs that you might get, to the breadcrumbs that'll lead you to the truth. The truth has to come out. It will rise to the top.
No matter
Who
how
wrote
much
it
you
and where did it come
indoctrinate.
from?
Correct.
That's when you start talking about scriptures and stuff, I'm always going, okay, who wrote it and where did it come from?
No,
When
I
you hear
agree
about
with you.
scriptures and things like that, and then
But you have to discern if it resonates.
Correct.
If it
And I
makes
got you.
sense to you, if it makes
Correct.
sense to you.
Correct.
No matter
Donald
where
Trump
it
has
came
said some
from,
things that resonates. Go ahead, Self.
I was gonna say, no matter where it came from or what it is, discernment lets you know upon your spirit if it is or not. No matter your indoctrination or not, if you can look within and decide that you need and want and desire the spirit of discernment,
And
it
we
will
all
take you
have it.
very
We
far.
all have it, man. But like you said,
It tells us.
well, it's levels though.
You gotta
like
be open.
you at the corner store, we all get it in our everyday environment because our DNA, it changes, can adapt. And so somebody comes up to you and say, man, I need $20 for some gas. You know what I mean? And in your mind right away, that's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We're easily able to discern that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's
We need to
something
do
we've been
that in
tuned into.
all our
Correct.
every instant presented to us.
Correct.
You need to trust it. That's the main thing. You need to trust it.
That's what you've always told me too. So
yeah.
You've always told me that. All right. Well, Diesel, we appreciate you sliding through, bro. We appreciate that, man.
Always a
we
pleasure.
love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
You got any big ups for you jump out of here? Yeah.
No, same thing. I always love with y'all. I wish I had caught the other one earlier, but I'll try to get in there next week when y'all do the other thing on the
Next week we doing AAU, how it's ruined the game of basketball. Yeah. How it's ruined the game that we love. AAU. Yeah. So
for
pull
sure.
up. Yeah, appreciate you, man. We don't kick no silverbacks out. For damn show, don't kick mouthpiece included host off the show. But show yourself out, bro, and enjoy your Father's Day, man. Yes, sir. Salute.
Love, honor, respect, brother.
Yeah, you guys, boy, we get you guys in the barbershop. Y'all can talk all day.
And expand consciousness of the whole planet.
And it was fantastic. It's fantastic. It was actually vanglorious. So it's probably more likely than not that our moon is not a natural object, at least according to me in Self Love. Furthermore, it could very well be hollow. As always, question everything.
Could be, allegedly.
Dorothy, the Self Love Show ain't Kansas. Look into the rabbit hole inside your soul. Pray for discernment. Do your own research out there. But remember, when you gaze into the abyss, be careful because sometimes it might wet.
Bite you in the ass.
Gaze right back into you. So yeah. All right. I never gave the riddle, Self. So yeah, I never gave the riddle. Which is interesting. Here's the dome teaser. I stalk you at night and I can shapeshift. What am I? I stalk
What?
you at
Okay.
I
Nah, I
stalk
said
you
what?
at night and I can shapeshift. What am
Mm. Initially, I have no idea.
I? Yeah, I should have got it to you earlier.
We're at the end, and yeah.
It's the
But
moon out there.
oh, yeah, well,
The moon.
and it does shapeshift. That's true.
Yeah. And it stalks you. Follows you. I could have said follow you. I think the riddle was follow you at night. I probably should have used that word. You probably would have picked up on it. But yeah, it's the moon out there.
Maybe, maybe not. Shit.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's late in the show. We all know what that means.
we know what it is at that point.
All right. Next week on the Self Luv Show, we're covering the Las Vegas aliens out there. And is our government hiding in reverse engineering technology?
Facts. Unless we got a good signal and we're doing house stock next
House
week.
stock. He's right. House stock. If we're not doing house stock, then this will be our topic the week. If we do house stock, this will be the topic after house stock. Yeah, house stock, y'all. House stock. Get it in.
Glorious, he said. Tucci.
Next week on Mouthpiece Included, where we talk politics, where you're always welcome to pull up. But if you do pull up, don't forget your what?
Don't forget your mouthpiece. You
Don't forget
giving it all away.
All right. We got Mouthpiece Included next week. We're going to be doing AAU and how it's ruined our game of basketball. Yeah, we definitely like to hear from any hoopers out there and fans of the game. But before we go tonight, I want to get to my favorite part of the whole shebang, and that's Wordsmith's final words out there. Yeehaw.
Man, wow. Because it's really a trip. The whole game and internet pulled they slip. Because I was spitting too much truth. They cut me off.
Yeah, just
They
like my music.
execute. Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. My bad. This is the one I wanted you on.
The whole situation. And it's a different level of propagation. They hate Tory words like I'm Satan. But I'm wondering if they hating Satan, what was he about? Because I don't know. Supposedly, he told them to eat from a tree that would let us all knowledge of wheat. Is that the worst being? I don't know. I'm using discernment to learned from different things that they taught us or how we were supposed to learn it. I'm sick and tired of their programming. The scholastic institution has been failing. They ain't taught us nothing but to follow their directions. Since Rockefeller implemented the medical field meditations, thought even lesser of the other fields and gave them less of the shit to feel. This language we speak is a spell. It's a magical thing. It ain't hard to tell. You need to look into it and develop your whole situation so you can embark on your own creation. Religion and politics are irrelevant, especially when your message is from heaven sent. And heaven looked like something different from a whole lot of people, because most of these pieces of shit ain't nowhere near equal. It's time for them to see the sequel.
Stand up, black people.
And I'm sorry, I love Manute, but none of us is black. We are different ranges of copper color, and that is a fact. And we gonna decide that we're gonna put it on track, because the dictionary definition of black is completely whack. It's nothing that we do or how we approach, nothing how we make clear, and how they just try to cloak us under this negative veil. But it ain't hard to tell. We was born to excel. We bring everything that's positive. These YT people are not natural. They do everything they can to make us fail. Limited now, they are in control. It ain't gonna excel. Our time is coming again. And they're going to hell. Words been living as a rebel since the day I was born. I never been a norm. I came here to make sure the earth transformed. I brought my energy. They know this energy. They know to see it all. They know the enemy. And I'm not my own. And they know I can never clone what I do on the microphone. Never been nobody like me. That's why it's highly unlikely you hear anyone sounding like me. No one ever been here. But I know the knowledge, and I came here to persevere. The truth is, these clowns can't copy. They've been here, and they've been different and Anunnaki. And we gotta do what we gotta do, because you know the truth. These suckers sloppy, thinking they can do what I do on any agnostic. Because I understand all the words. I leave them C's fucked up left on the curb, thinking they can deal with me. I easily smoke them like a bag of herbs. Fuck what you heard. It's totally absurd. Because we know what it is, and you know how it hurts. The Self Love Show. The way we do is nautical. They want to try to stop the flow, but it's always been on the water. So none of you can deal with me because y'all not apophico. Words.
Words. Self Love Show in the building. Words, words, words. And a lot of power today. I think this was an awesome session. Awesome, awesome session.
A blessing. Wordsmith and Weston.
Courthouse Doc.
Do you think you are the one?
This is the coldest, one of the coldest songs I've ever heard. I love it.
You know what that means? It's Latin. Means know thyself.
Zodiac. Bullets are boomerang.
Stand your ground.
Murder is suicide.
Yeah, man. An eye for an eye.
Silence is violence.
You see something, say something.
Slave theory is greed plus ego over fear. Now you're a slave.
Show. If you own what you own and you're doing the right thing,
yeah, you got security and humility. Times love, that's freedom. Do not answer questions.
Question everything.
Fear is cap. It's an illusion, man.
Don't need love, man. It's the highest emotion.
Forgiveness is the highest love vibration.
So do something charitable for a so-called enemy and end the beef, man. Get it over with.
Yeah, because they say healthy people heal thy people.
Because we all know for sure that hurt people hurt people.
Free the old man. Free Larry Hoover.
Free Just For It, man. Free all the guys, man. Prison of slavery.
Chief Malik. Be like Yahushua. Be Yahushua. Walk on water.
Can be all them guys, man. Together we can move mountains.
Mountain Z, how we gonna do that?
Bro, Yahshua said all we need is the faith of a mustard seed. We saw what he did, and you know what we can do. We got way more faith than that.
Yeah, they murked him.
They murk us all, but we're gonna make it happen. They can't murk us all. I meant to say.
Yeah, they allegedly murked him. Just like they allegedly murdered. Just like they allegedly murdered Hitler. Can you say that on YouTube?
Yeah. At this point in the show,
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
We wore the bots out.
Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love. You just know it.
No one.
Through and through. Balls to bone.
I know I'm in love.
Balls to bones. Still got them?
Yeah, all day, every day.
Be blessed. House Stock 2023. Get there.